Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Wednesday, March 27th, 2024, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $ORION NWSF or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got an MLB 2024 Seattle Mariners preview and predictions. We're going to go over some of the other teams as well based on the people that come through in the room. The Dodgers and the Padres had their opening day in Korea a few days back and got a 2-game set in. But for everyone else, besides 2 games that got delayed early this morning for preview of possible rain, and those got pushed out. The Mariners and the Red Sox will be the last matchup of the night at 7:10 Pacific, and I'm going to be here to kind of go over the projected lineup as well as the projected starters for the pitching staff, as well as some of the new addition the Seattle Mariners have had. Let's go, baby. Let's get some music queued up here in the background. We'll wait for people to come in and get settled. Okay. Go. Very excited about the season getting ready to get started. Let's go. Sarah in the building. What's good? Appreciate the help with the share there as well. And I had to rush a little bit too because initially I was planning on just making a thumb getting ready for tonight, but then I was trying to experiment and trying to get ready for the thumbnail for tomorrow, which I actually finished up also. So ready to go for that. But again, shout out to all the people watching on Twitter/X, as well as the people on YouTube as well. And then once we end up going over the Seattle Mariners, you already know I got everything situated here. Then we can go over some of the questions or comments, based on the other people that are in the room. Like if you want to go over the Cardinals, we can end up doing that. If we get Elliott coming through, we can go over the Padres. But I got a lot of the prep work done. I had to rush a little bit trying to get photos of the initial players and what I feel the projected lineup is going to be. But here we go. MLB 2024 Mariners preview and predictions with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatic. Make sure you're taking care of your mental health. Very, very important. We go through those ups and downs every day. So make sure you're checking off the boxes to make sure that you can win the day. Let's go. All right. One sec here. All right. One sec. I got to close my door here as well. All right, baby. Let's go. Finally, we're getting close. 2024 season. I feel for some of us, it's been a lot longer of a wait than others, just depending on how hardcore of a fan that you are. But for someone like me, that's been watching baseball and really being about that Seattle Mariner life, since the mid-'80s, this is probably one of the best teams as far as like the hype factor, besides getting Julio, in the draft and whatnot, that obviously sparked a little bit like, okay, we finally got a guy, Julio Rodriguez, aka J-Rod, who can be a top 10 player, has a potential to be a top 5 player, and maybe before his career is over, I don't think it would be that crazy to think that Julio might end up being the best player in baseball at some point or another. Now, we know how, top-end heavy it is with Acuna, and Shohei Ohtani and Aaron Judge, and Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman and many, many others. But I feel if you've watched Julio play, he's definitely proved that he can hang with the big boys, and I feel it could be a very big season incoming. And I'm definitely excited to be able to kind of go over my projections as well as maybe a few of the others. We'll see if we can get reflected in a few of the other Mariner fans that come through as well. I imagine I'll end up repeating myself a few times, based on the lineups and, based on where I think that we might be sitting. And again, the projected lineup is definitely going to move, based off Scott Service and the feel of the game. But we have a few new additions and some subtractions. So it'll be exciting to see kind of where things play out. So let's start it off. And leading off for the Mariners, playing shortstop, you already know who it is, one of my favorite players on the Seattle Mariners. And it's been one of my favorite leadoff hitters since Ichiro Suzuki, and the Mariners have been pumping out a lot of amazing commercials already out of the gates. I believe they already have 2 or 3, en route and on social media that they're promoting. But JP Crawford, he's going to be playing shortstop for us, and he is one of my favorite players on the team. There's a few guys that I have a little bit above others. I think he did a great job last season, and I feel that this is going to be a good opportunity for him to be able to showcase his skill set and to be able to take us to the next level. Let's see here. So he had 543 at-bats, 78 runs, 12 homers, and I feel with JP, he's got the ability, to get 15 to 20 homers, even though he is a leadoff hitter. He had 12 homers last year, 58 ribbies, 3 stolen bases. So I'm not sure if that is going to be a, projected lineup or if this is going to be something here. Let me go take a quick peek here. I got to take a double check real quick with JP. 1 sec here. Let me look at his stat line. 1 sec. I got to go to Baseball Reference. Got to go through everything here as I'm going through the stat line. All right, so he had 19 homers last year, so that'll be maybe like a projected number, that he might be able to get. Because I was going to say, I thought he had closer to 20 last year instead of that particular number. So with 2023 and his stat line with JP Crawford, right? So he had 145 games, right? 534 at-bats, 94 runs, 142 hits, 35 doubles, no triples, 19 homers. So going ahead this year, maybe the home runs go down slightly, but again, somewhere between 12 and 20 homers is what we feel, most of us probably feel that he's going to get to, but a great leadoff hitter for us in JP Crawford. Daniel in the building. What's good? Next up, more than likely, playing in the 2-hole, and they may move him around, every once in a while. If JP has an off day, maybe they'll have Julio leading off like they did in his rookie year. But more than likely, JP Crawford will lead off, and Julio Rodriguez, our boy J-Rod, Julio Rodriguez in center field. And then with JP Crawford going to Julio, let's go to Julio next. And obviously, I had a lot of the information already set up. Hold on 1 sec. Let me go here. This will be a little bit easier for me to go ahead and navigate, since this will be like kind of a freestyle stream. Let's pull it up. We want to make sure we get everything correct here. All right, and so in 2023, 155 games played, 654 at-bats, 102 runs, 180 hits, 103 ribbies, base on balls, right, 47, strikeouts 175. We need to get that quite a bit lower, right? He had a 275 average. We need to be able to get his numbers, and it feels like he could be a 40-40 season where he's got 40 homers and 40 stolen bags. At least that's what we're hoping. And you never know. It could end up being at some point or another, maybe not this year, but possibly moving forward, a 50-50 season. You might be able to get something like that in the near future as well. At the 2-hole, Julio Rodriguez. Let's go. And super young, 23 years old. So, we got a long ways to go, and this will be his 3rd season. And typically for superstars and players in general, once you end up hitting, kind of the pinnacle and you kind of hit your sweet spot, your prime, usually that's going to be years 4 through 7, whether that be in the NHL, right, the MLB, the NFL, or the NHL. And that doesn't mean that those are only going to be the best years, but statistically speaking, usually you're going to have a breakout. If you haven't already with years 1 through 3, you're going to have a breakout year somewhere between years 4 through 7. And also, once you get past year 7, if you're beast mode, you might have amazing years in 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And a lot of these guys are going to be playing, if you're a legend and you're a GOAT, you might end up playing 15 or 20 years. And that's what we expect out of J-Rod and Julio Rodriguez. Next up, we got a newbie on the team, and this is just me with my projection, and they could be, moving him around at some point or another. But I think that Jorge Polanco at the 3-hole at second base is a fair assessment, based on what we've seen, during, the Cactus League and preseason baseball. And then let's pull up his stats from last year as well. And he is a Dominican player. So obviously Julio, he got a couple of these guys, in the building. And he played, his whole career on the Minnesota Twins, starting in 2014 and then obviously ending up on 2023. So some injuries for Jorge Polanco, and hopefully he doesn't get injured this particular season. But he had 80 games played, 302 at-bats, right? 38 runs, 77 hits, 48 ribbies, 36 base on balls, and 88 strikeouts. So, hopefully, we didn't have to pay too much, for him to be able to come over. But we're really hoping that, he can take his game to the next level. Jorge Polanco, second base. And, and we definitely went through quite a few different players at the position. So it's nice to be able to see, the transition of trying to get rid of some of the guys that struck out a lot, Jared Kelenic, Eugenio Suarez, Teoscar Hernandez, and then we're going to be bringing in a guy that hopefully can end up staying healthy. Jorge Polanco, 255 average, 14 home runs, 48 ribbies, and an OPS of 789. 3-hole, Jorge Polanco. And at the 4-hole, another new player to the team, right? DH, Mitch Garver. So obviously we don't have Mike Ford anymore, and let's pull up the correct stat line for Mitch Garver. So give me one sec here. I had to get all the photos and the thumbnails prepped, so I could have started the stream maybe 30 minutes later, but I said, well, fuck it, might as well just get it going now. All right, let's pull up Mitch Garver's stat line. All right, so into the 2023 season, let's see if I can pull this over here. So he had 296 at-bats, 45 runs, 80 hits, 19 home runs, 50 ribbies, no stolen bases with a 270 average. And let me see here. Let's pull up the next stat line here. And what did we have for home runs? 19. What did he have the year before? 10. Year before that, 13. So, we need Garv to have big numbers. And he started off in Minnesota in 2017, played there for roughly 5 years until 2021. And then his last 2 years with the Rangers, and obviously coming off a World Series victory and a World Series champion, we're trying to bring some of that expertise, to the rival and coming over here to the Seattle Mariners. So again, 87 games played, 296 at-bats, 45 runs, 80 hits, and then he had 19 home runs in 2023. Let me see what I can pull up that other stat line. And then in spring training, 42 at-bats, 6 runs, 11 hits, 2 home runs, 10 ribbies, 262 average, and that's kind of what we want to see. We want to see more guys, hitting 260 to 320, not, 150 to 220, 230. And we had a lot of guys kind of sitting in that wheelhouse. So again, starting it off, more than likely, and this is my projected lineup, right, for the Seattle Mariners going through, at least probably for opening day, but it could change. They may flip-flop some guys. Leading off, J.P. Crawford. At shortstop, batting second, center fielder, Julio Rodriguez. Tridents up, baby. Batting third, one of the newbies, second baseman, Jorge Polanco, Minnesota Twins. And then they're in the cleanup role from the Texas Rangers, DHing Mitch Garver. And then batting fifth, one of my favorite players, big dumper, catcher, Cal Raleigh. And let's pull up Cal Raleigh's stats here from last year. All right, so Cal Raleigh, 513 at-bats, 78 hits, 119 hits, 30 homers. He is probably the most underrated catcher in Major League Baseball overall. I don't think he really gets as much as love as he deserves. He's the best power hitter at catcher, in my opinion, and 75 ribbies, no stolen bags, with a 232 average. So we need to be able to bump that up. We need to get you as close to 300 as possible, and we know that's going to be tough, but if we can get even 270, 280, 290, that will definitely help improve the win column for us. And big dumper Cal Raleigh sitting in the 5-hole, and in spring training, 39 at-bats, 8 runs, 10 hits, 4 home runs, 13 ribbies, 1 stolen bag, and he did improve his average in spring training with a 256 average. I still would like that to be a little bit higher, somewhere between 280 and 300, but I understand it's going to take a little bit of time. Oh, baby. And sitting in the 6th hole, one of my, OGs, a former Mariner that ended up leaving and coming back, going to most likely play a combination of right field and left field. At the 6th hole, right fielder, coming back to the team, Mitch Haniger. Let's go. Pull up Mitch's numbers. And he does get hurt a lot, so I know there is a concern, with Mitch Haniger and his, health. But he did actually pretty badass for us in spring training, so I'm hoping he can continue that momentum, and hopefully he can play more games than he did, obviously, in 2023. All right, so in the 2023 regular season, 211 at-bats, 27 runs, 44 hits, 6 home runs, 28 ribbies, 1 stolen bag, and he only had a 209 average, but again, he only played in limited games, right? And then in 2024 spring training, amazing, right? So out of 211 at-bats, he only had 6 homers. In 39 at-bats in spring training, right? 8 runs, 15 hits, 5 home runs. He literally only had 1 less home run, and he had almost 200 less at-bats. So this is a good sign for Mariner fans. Hopefully he can stay healthy. He's a little bit older. He's 33, 6'2", 214. But 5 home runs, 7 ribbies, no stolen bags. His batting average in spring training was one of the best overall. 385. He was almost batting 400 with an OBP of 442 and an OPS over 1,000, 1.288. So again, if we're going to be able to take the next step, not only are we going to need the newbies to step up, Jorge Polanco, I feel he's going to be a fan favorite. Mitch Garver, even though you were on the Texas Rangers, that is behind us now. You're a part of the squad, so we have no more harsh feelings towards you. And then bringing back a guy, right, that already was familiar with the Mariners, and it's nice to be able to see him back. So Mitch obviously started his career off in Arizona in 2016. He was on the Mariners from 2017 to 2022, and then he played 1 brief year there with the San Francisco Giants. Probably thought, man, I wish I never would have left. He's already in a lot of the promos and the commercials, and it's just nice to be able to bring Mitch back. And I'm definitely excited to be able to see if he can keep that momentum and stay hot, and be electric for the Seattle Mariners. So obviously on paper, it might not excite a whole lot of people, especially with no Jared Kelenic, no Teoscar Hernandez, and no Eugenio Suarez. But also remember, those guys struck out a lot. We can't have a bunch of guys striking out 200 plus times in a year. So even though Polanco, Garver, Haniger, it might not be sexy to a lot of people, but when you start off 1-9-1 in preseason, and then you eventually get above like around 15 wins, 13 losses, you're above 500, it's a big thing. So even though, again, it may not look sexy on paper, at the end of the day, a lot of people think the Mariners have the best pitching staff, in a starting 5 rotation. And if we're not number 1, we're number 2. If we're not number 2, we're number 3. And if you're a hater, then we're still in the top 5, number 4, number 5. But I think most people got us in the top 5. But if you look through our 1 through 5, with Castillo, Kirby, Gilbert, Miller, and then normally Wu, but he's injured, and we got Hancock, the first rounder. It's very sexy and enticing. So there is a possibility that we get injured. There is a possibility that we choke, and we end up getting 80 to 88 wins, and we end up missing the playoffs and missing the wild card. But also you have to think there's a possibility, instead of hitting 220 to 230 the whole year, like last year, maybe we can get our batting average as a team up 250 to maybe 280. As a team, you're not going to hit 290 or 300. That's unrealistic. But you will have some guys that hopefully will be 290, 300, 310, 320 at some point in the season. Consistency is king. Okay, and we need to be able to have as many guys as close to 280 as possible. And if that ends up being the case where half of the lineup is over 270 or 280, right, and we got a couple over 300, it's going to be really good for the Seattle Mariners, their fan base, and it's going to bode well in the division, not, dominating against the A's and the Angels. We should be able to beat the shit out of them. But we need to compete with the Astros from Houston, the Rangers from Texas, right? And we already know the Yankees should be better this year. There's going to be very, good quality matchups. The Blue Jays are going to be better. The Orioles, the Mariners are kind of young and up and coming like the Diamondbacks are. So I feel the Phillies and the Diamondbacks in the National League, we have to keep an eye on those two teams because we already know that the Dodgers and the Braves are going to be getting all the love and all the pub, right? But who are the teams that are under the radar that are getting slept on? The Phillies are getting slept on still, I feel, every single year. And then the team that broke out and made it to the World Series but couldn't come up, to get the championship and win the pennant. That Arizona Diamondback team has a lot of similarities to the Seattle Mariners as well as the Baltimore Orioles. So I feel those three teams are very similar to each other, and don't be surprised at one point or another you see the Diamondbacks back in the NLDS, the NLCS, and possibly the World Series again. And don't be surprised this year if it's not the Astros and it's not the Rangers. There's a good possibility that it would be the Mariners or the Orioles representing the American League. And that's not me being biased. I think that if you look at a lot of the baseball experts and you're looking at lineups, how teams have played, in spring training, this is a real reality that's starting to sink in that, we could be really special. And it still may take a couple more years to get to that point, but we might be able to string together, a possible 3, 4, 5-year run starting with this year where we can make the playoffs in consecutive years. We don't want to go 1 year with Julio and then have a sophomore slump and then not get there. We want to try to be a team like the Astros and the Rangers, and now it looks like with the Orioles, where we can join these teams every year and battle it out, for not only the American League, divisional crown, right, but also representing the American League at the end of the day in the World Series, in the ALCS and the ALDS. And I understand you got to crawl before you walk, but I feel that you saw a glimpse of what we could do, in Julio's rookie year and 2022. We had a down year last year with injuries and too many strikeouts and lowing batting average and not very good in extra inning games, not very good in one-run games. And if we can just improve a little bit, we should be able to squeak out, an additional 5 to 10 wins. And if that's the case, we might be able to get, instead of 80 to 88 wins, we might be able to hit 90. It's possible. We might be able to hit 95. And I don't think it's that crazy to think if we overachieve and pitching is balling out, hitting is balling out, service is making great calls. Is it that crazy to think if the Mariners could hit 100 wins and go 100 wins and 62 losses? If not this year, possibly next year. So I really like the direction of where we're going. And I was disappointed we didn't get Shohei Ohtani. I was disappointed that we didn't get Blake Snell. But as we're starting to look at the lineup and, take it into consideration, I'm really loving this team. And I love this team more with the way the roster sits now, even though I did root for Jared Kelenic. And I like Teoscar Hernandez, even though I thought that was a rental. The one piece that I'm only really going to really miss is Eugenio Suarez. Other than that, I like what we did. Wish Suarez is still a Seattle Mariner, but he's going to have an awesome time with the Diamondbacks and Corbin Carroll. And I can't wait to watch the Diamondbacks in Seattle go at it one-on-one, and they can have a little bit of a reunion. So again, starting it off, opening day, Luis Castillo. Oh, and Ryan, I know ya. Leading off, projected shortstop, J.P. Crawford. In the 2-hole, center fielder, Julio Rodriguez. Batting third, second baseman, Jorge Polanco. Batting cleanup and batting fourth, we don't got Mike Ford. DHing, Mitch Garver. Batting fifth, playing catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Batting sixth, right fielder, coming back to the team, Mitch Haniger. And then batting seventh, this is a big opportunity for our guy, Dominic Canzone. Let's pull up his stat line. And I imagine they'll be rotating because Mitch Haniger is a normal, true right fielder, right? And that's where Teoscar played. Canzone can play left or right, but I would assume they're going to throw Mitch at right, Julio at center, and then Dominic Canzone will play left field. Let's pull up Canzone's numbers. All right, Dominic Canzone in the 2023 regular season, 173 at-bats, 23 runs, 38 hits, 6 homers, 21 ribbies, 1 stolen bag, 220 batting average. That needs to be much, much better. OBP of 258, OPS of 657. But in spring training, right, 44 at-bats, 6 runs, 13 hits, 4 home runs. And, so he had 173 at-bats and he only had 6 homers. He had 4 at-bats in spring training and had 4 home runs. 2 less with about 130 less at-bats. That's a really good song. 11 ribbies, 2 stolen bags, and his batting average went from 220 last season in spring training, almost 300, batting 295, OBP of 347, and an OPS over 1,000, 1.052. That's exactly what you want to see for guys that are going to be up and coming, and Dominic Canzone should be an everyday starter, so it'll be a lot of opportunities for him to be able to prove himself. So it's not necessarily going to be, oh, what is JP Crawford going to do? What is Julio going to do, right? What is Raley going to do? Where the team is going to come and go, and when the ups and the downs, it's going to be, what is Jorge Polanco going to do? What's Mitch Garver going to do as a newbie? What's Mitch Haniger going to do coming back to the Mariners? And as well, bringing in Dominic Canzone last year with the trade, what is Dominic Canzone going to be as an everyday player? Big facts. And then in the 8-hole, first baseman, Ty France. And normally Ty would be somewhere in the 2, 3, 4, or 5 hole, but based on the quality of players that we have, you normally aren't going to see a first baseman bat so late in the order, but it definitely is going to help out JP Crawford and Julio at the top of the lineup when we start off an inning with Ty France in the 8-hole. And then obviously I'll get to the 9-hole with Josh Rojas in just 1 second. Brandon in the building. What's good? Yes, I'll be doing every Mariner game, for the Red Sox, and I'm going to try to do every Mariner game throughout the season. That's a lot of games, but there's 162. But I'm hoping to do about 100 to 120 games. But if I end up doing all 162, that's what I want to do. Jordan in the building. What's good? Yeah, I think he's going to have a big year. And like I said, when you go through this lineup, if you're like a Ranger fan, or if you're a Astro fan, or a Yankee fan, or an Oriole fan, or a Blue Jay fan, or just a fan of a team in the National League, some people will laugh at the lineup and think, that's not that fucking good. Look at the guys they got rid of, Kelenic and Teoscar and Suarez. But again, even with those guys, it didn't really work out for us last year. So I agree, this is going to be a key component. And if he can stay healthy, Mitch Haniger is going to be a very key component for our success. And he's been balling out, in spring training. If you've got a chance to watch, he has been amazing. He has actually been one of the big bright spots for the Seattle Mariners, and I totally 100% agree. Yeah, very excited for opening day. All right, let's look at Ty France's numbers. Yeah, and I started the stream at 5 or 6 o'clock instead of 5 o'clock Pacific, because I thought that would be better for anyone that was either at work or they had plans and whatnot. That would be a little bit easier for people to come through. 6 o'clock my time, 8 o'clock in the Midwest, 9 o'clock on the East Coast. But it is what it is, and hopefully we'll get a few more of those people coming through. But again, I got all the information here anyways. All right, so starting off his career with the Padres in 2019 and stayed there for 2 years, 2019 and 2020. Ty's been on our team since 2020, and now we are going to be going into 2024. So last season, 158 games played, 587 at-bats, 79 runs, 147 hits, 58 ribbies, 43 base on balls, 117 strikeouts, and he had a 250 average, which is unacceptable. We need to have that be a little bit higher. He had an OBP of 337, an OPS of 703. All right, and then spring training, he had 44 at-bats, 7 runs, 16 hits, no homers, 7 ribbies, no stolen bags, but his average was 364. Another guy that overachieved in spring training. even if some of the at-bats were limited. OBP of 442 and an OPS close to 1,000 of .897. Another guy that you like to see, that might have had a little bit of a down year, batting .250, only 12 homers. Ty France is a guy that should have 20 to 30 homers. He's got that ability. Maybe he needs to lose a little bit of weight, and figure out the right weight and the right conditioning and the right diet to be maybe a little bit faster and not lose that power in his swing. But 12 homers for a guy like Ty France, who was an all-star in 2022, and Julio Rodriguez, is unacceptable. We need you to be in that 20 to 30 home run range. And if you're not going to hit 20 home runs, then you got to hit 18 or 19 for Mariner fans to be happy. We're still going to be upset if you don't hit 20, but if you're at least close, 18 and 19, and your average is above 300, we can live with that. But we can't have you batting .250 with limited home runs with 10 or 12. You can't be putting up JP Crawford numbers as a small guy, as a shortstop, when you're a bigger first baseman. And the 8-hole, first baseman, Ty France. And we're going to be relying on him a lot. Like, really where it's going to come down to, you need Polanco to play big. You need Garver to play big. Haniger to play big. Canzone to play big. Ty France to play big. And last but not least, another guy that needs to play big, big, big in the 9-hole, taking over for Eugenio Suarez, third baseman, Josh Rojas. Let me get a different Dominic Canzone photo. I got a better one. And let's go into Rojas's numbers. And getting Rojas and Canzone from the Diamondbacks, that was, it was tough. Let's be honest. It's like when you're looking at last season, you don't want to be able to get rid of a closer, especially if that ends up being one of your best players, on the team. First 60 games, it was pretty much Jared Kelenic. And that was it, and we obviously had, nice, closing pitching, but sometimes you got to make a move to be able to get better. And ultimately, at the end of the day, we got 2 starters out of it, left fielder Dominic Canzone, and then third baseman Josh Rojas, even though we might have not known that at the time. So in the 2023 regular season, splitting time with the Diamondbacks, as well as the Mariners, 314 at-bats, 47 runs, 77 hits, 4 home runs, 40 ribbies, 12 stolen bags, 245 average, needs to be much better. Defense needs to be closer to Eugenio Suarez as well. 303 OBP and a 641 OPS. I do wonder about Rojas. He's probably going to be, our worst player in the starting lineup by far, in the 9-hole, and again, to have someone like Eugenio Suarez and you have to fill the shoes, not only could Suarez get you 30 to 40 home runs, he would get a lot of strikeouts. I'll give him that, right? But he was a great clubhouse guy, great energy, good vibes only, and he was one of the Mariner fans' fan favorites. So for Rojas, we want to make sure, that you're getting as close to 280 to 300 in the batting average. And if we're not going to get a whole lot of home runs out of you, hopefully for his sake, he can get at least into double digits, somewhere between 10 and 18 home runs. And he might end up only getting 5 to 9, but let's hope for the Mariners' sake that he can get 10, to 16, somewhere in there, because the better that he can do batting in the 9-hole, that means that you're going to have better opportunities for JP Crawford, Julio, Polanco, and Garver at the top of the lineup. Okay. In spring training, 33 at-bats, 4 runs, 6 hits, 1 home run, 6 ribbies, 2 stolen bags with a 182 average. So out of all the players in the starting lineup, this is the only one that I think Mariner fans have a true concern with, because we don't really know what you're going to do defensively. We don't really know what you're going to do offensively. We definitely can improve the position. There's definitely better players than Josh Rojas. So at some point, in the offseason or in the trade deadline, if we end up trading for a third baseman, I wouldn't be shocked, either this year or next year, or drafting one or bringing someone up from AA or AAA, or high A ball. Or end up, getting a player from another team in the offseason. But this is the one position that I feel all Mariner fans have a little bit of a concern with. We are more concerned with Rojas than all the other guys that are coming into the lineup. But hopefully he can play good for us. And if not, we're going to have a lot of guys rotating at third base in 2024. Hopefully not, because I'm not really sure what kind of depth we have behind him that we could actually feel comfortable about. But at the 9 hole, Josh. And then starting on the mound against the Boston Red Sox. I'm not sure if he is our best pitcher. He has some ups and he has some downs. For now, he's going to be, the number one guy since we brought him over for the Cincinnati Reds. But I'll tell you what, George Kirby is nipping at his heels. And it wouldn't surprise me starting next season if George Kirby is our number one, depending on if Castillo, what the situation is with him. But Kirby is getting close to, dethroning Castillo as being the one. But regardless, right, you got Castillo, right? You got George Kirby, right? You got Logan Gilbert, you got Bryce Miller, and then we're going to have Wu, obviously, in and out of the lineup with injuries, and Emerson Hancock. But hopefully he'll have a little bit of a bounce back year. I'm just going to go back to the comments here, and then we'll get into the Luis Castillo stat line. Megan with a $5. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I got a bill due tomorrow, and hopefully we can get a little bit of love and support based on how it's been as of late. Appreciate you. Megan with a $5. No problem. Appreciate you so much. And, if that ends up being the case, I totally understand. If you end up changing your mind and you just want to be able to hang out, I'll always provide uplifting words. I'll throw up photos for you to cheer you up. I'll send you stuff on Instagram or Twitter if I need to. And again, if you feel that seclusion works best, that's totally fine. But if you still need good people to hang around, we'll always be here for you. I appreciate you very, very much. Stacks on stacks. Racks on racks with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. $5 holla. And I don't know if you've seen the new Ichiro Julio Rodriguez commercial, Megan, that the Mariners put out on their socials this morning, but it is amazing. A little throwback to Daniel-san and Mr. Miyagi, and obviously the no-fly zone. And as well as Ichiro being able to catch flies in the no-fly zone in his own style. And also Luis Castillo dressing up as The Rock in his famous photo way back in the day. Thank you so much. Let me know what you want to do for photos, and I got you. $5 holla, 95 to go. Thank you so much. Yes, much appreciated. $5, 95 to go. Nice. Well, there's a lot of connection, with the Reds and the Mariners, right? Ken Griffey Jr., right? So, a little bit back and forth. Castillo, Suarez, right? So, you got guys that, you loved. And then obviously when you love guys, that are a part of the roster and they, end up being key pieces, of course, a lot of people are still going to continue to root for those guys. Maybe not in the exact same way as if they were representing Cincinnati, but you still wish that they do well, wherever they go, as long as it's not a team that's a rival in your division and they went from the Reds to the Mariners, so you didn't have to worry about that. If you have anything that you want to go over after I'm done, Reds-wise, photo-wise, I can bring up some photos of players, guys that you're looking at possibly being a big contributor for your team. So you can think about some guys that you want me to throw up, and then eventually once I get done with some of the Mariner stuff, we can tap into some of the Reds, maybe a little bit of Cardinals for Sarah, and then a few others, for depending on who drops in. I don't have any problem doing that. Let me keep rolling down. Matt in the building. What's good, brother? How's that Hawaii weather, bro? What's good? All right, we need 10 more. We got to 10. Let's try to get to 20. Yeah, I'm out. That makes me happy because, the thing is, regardless if you're a celebrity, you're a streamer like me, or you're just a everyday regular Joe. Sometimes when someone takes the time out of their day just to respond, and maybe not even to, necessarily write something back, but even liking something, hearting it, retweeting it, or even getting a reply. Sometimes just someone taking the time to check up on you or to reply back, can give you a boost of mental health and get you in the right direction and feel a little more positive. So, kudos to Stefan for doing that. And, I'm always going to be able to take care of you. And when I told you, I'm going to check up on you, I'm going to make sure if I see anything, Mariners, Kraken, Seahawks, I'll send it to you. If I see anything of Hack, I'll send it to you to be able to brighten up your day. And I'm true to my word. There's a lot of people out there, that want to walk the walk, but they don't talk the talk. But I definitely will walk the walk, and I'll definitely go out of my way to talk the talk as well. And hopefully things get a little bit better for you. As I know, we kind of go through the ups and the downs, but we'll go through them together, and we'll make sure that we get out of whatever darkness that we're in, and we'll make sure that we get better together. Okay. Rooftop in the building. What's good? All right. And then let's go into Castillo here. Now, you don't need to be a negative Nancy, Rooftop. See, that's your thing, when you talk about the Mariners and, and you want to be able to go over and you want to have hot takes and whatnot, you got a lot of negativity, bro, and that might work out for you doing little, 30-second clips or doing TikTok or YouTube shorts, or you want to be controversial because you want to get clicks and whatnot, right? But bro, there's a lot to look forward with the Mariners. It doesn't always have to be negative content or to try to get clicks. You know what I mean? We've already suffered enough, being Mariner fans, for as many years as you have and I have. You got to be a little bit more uplifting, have a little bit more of an optimistic view, on Seattle, instead of being so negative Nancy all the time, my guy. It's like you got to be able to understand, we're not going to spend the money. I get it, right? But even though we didn't spend the money and we're going to hit it like Moneyball and we have to go with statistics and analytics, yeah, we got rid of Kelenic, we got rid of Teoscar, we got rid of Eugenio Suarez. But if you looked at how we started off 1-9-1, and then, a couple games above 500 and finishing roughly 15-13, it's not ideal, but to go from the worst team in spring training to, one of the teams that was the hottest teams in spring training going into the regular season, we don't always got to be negative all the time and say we're going to win 80 to 85 games and be worse than last year and not make the playoffs, even if that's what you truly feel, and everyone's going to get injured and the pitching staff's going to suck and all the new players are going to be terrible. Half glass full, half glass empty. You got to be able to change your mindset, my guy. Hey, I have to keep it real with you because no one else is, right? I have to keep it honest and I have to keep it real. But, based on your content and the things that you say, would you rather me lie to you and just try to act like everything is just hunky-dory and peaches and cream? If you want to run your channel that way, with content that is controversial, that may not be true, but you're trying to get clicks, you can run your channel any way that you want. But you got to give this team a little bit more credit, okay? And obviously, we didn't get Shohei Ohtani. Obviously, we didn't get Blake Snell. But it doesn't always have to be let's just crap on the Mariners year in and year out. Remember, we did end up making the playoffs in 2022 in Julio's rookie year with Cal Raleigh. He had a down year, sophomore slump, and this could be the first year and maybe a 5-year run where maybe we can make the playoffs every single year, okay? Just letting you know. It doesn't always have to be negativity. It doesn't always have to be for clicks, It doesn't always have to be that grabbing content that everyone else does unless you're trying to be like everybody else. But I'll tell you what, if that's the way that you're going to run your Mariner content, you're going to get some interactions, you know what I mean? But again, it's better to be authentic, on stream than to be fake, unless that's how you truly, really feel. All right, let's go into Castillo's numbers. Let's see here. So he had 33 games played, okay? No complete games. Let's go with the photo here. 73 earned runs, 14 wins, 9 losses, with a whip of 1.10 with an ERA of 3.34. So if we're going down the win-loss column, this is how Castillo's career has been. 2017 to 2022 with the Reds, 2022 to 2023 with the Mariners. Okay? 3-7. 3 wins, 7 losses with Cincinnati. 10-12. 15 wins, 8 losses in 2019. 4 wins, 6 losses in 2020. 8 wins, 16 losses in 2021. 2022 with the Mariners and the Reds with the split, right? He had 4 wins and 4 losses. And then in 2022, 4 wins and 2 losses. And then last year, 14 and 9. Now, based off Castillo being a 1, I'm not saying that he's a 20-game winner, but he could get more than 15. He should be sitting somewhere between 15 to 18 wins, if he can actually get some run support. Didn't get a whole lot of run support last year, but 14 wins, 9 losses, that's a down year, even though that was like one of the best years in his career compared to the 15 and 8 season he had in 2019 with the Reds. But I feel like George Kirby is a better pitcher, even though that Castillo will be leading off and being the main guy and our ace in the debut against the Red Sox tomorrow, okay? But again, still a long ways to go, for Mariner fans to feel comfortable with Luis Castillo. All right, let's go over the projected starting lineup here one more time. And then let me know, Megan, what you want to do for photos, and I got you. Oh, you did? Okay. And I seen you've been working on the Twitter/X, showing off your expertise in route running, formations, and play calling. And I appreciate that. There's not a lot of people that can break shit down like that. And there's going to be times where you're even going to be more advanced than me in that particular category. So I do appreciate you putting in the work. And again, anytime you end up putting out posts, I'm going to support you. Job well done, my guy. And obviously I had to start it off by sending you that clip that I found out with Joey Harrington that came up on my timeline. Nice job, Matt. All right, so projected starting lineup for the Seattle Mariners tomorrow. And it could change. Leading off at shortstop, J.P. Crawford. Batting second, center fielder, Julio Rodriguez. Batting third, second baseman, Jorge Polanco. Batting cleanup and batting fourth, DHing for the Mariners, Mitch Garver. Batting fifth, playing catcher, big dumper, Raley. Batting sixth, playing right field, Mitch Haniger. Batting seventh, playing left field, Dominic Canzone. Batting eighth, playing first base, Ty France. And batting ninth, playing third base, Josh Rojas. And on the mound for the Mariners tomorrow against the Red Sox, Luis Castillo. Let's go. Ya boy. Sure, I got you. I got you. And hopefully the mental health, going up and down, and whatnot. But again, obviously going with the 12s, the more of a chance for trolls and certain things. But again, you can always count, on a safe place here. And, you can't put a price on that since there's so many places where you don't really get that feeling where, there's not going to be any issue. And if there ends up being an issue, you already know what happens, right? We end up giving that individual the Hogan boot. And sometimes it happens very, very quickly. So we'll make sure we take care of your mental health and we'll preserve it. And we'll make sure we take care of you today. All right, let's get some Stefan and some Hack for Megan to cheer her up. 1 sec here. All right, let me take a quick peek. Okay. Yeah, the game is on at 7 p.m. Pacific. So I'm not sure what type of window that is for you. But I'll be, I'll be going from 7 p.m. until probably like 10 or 9:30, depending on how, long the game goes. It'll probably be 2 hours and 30 minutes. So it'll probably get over with right before 10 o'clock Pacific, I would assume, unless it goes like extra innings or something like that. So, hey, he's a handsome fella, right? It definitely brings that mental health and, gives you, that boost that you need, right? I got you. It'll be around 1 p.m. your time to start. Okay. Yeah, so start time 7:10 Pacific tomorrow. And then that'll be like 7 o'clock on Thursday, 7 o'clock on Friday, 6:40 on Saturday, and I'll be celebrating Easter early, and I'll be back for that. And then on the Easter, particular Easter Sunday, since I'll already be taking care of all of my, obligations on Saturday, then they have an early game at like 1:30 on Sunday on Easter, and I'll do that one as well. Appreciate you. I'm gonna dig a little bit here for you. Try to find something that you haven't seen before or haven't seen in a minute. Oh, I got a good one. And you know how much we like black and white photos. Oh, there we go. No worries, no worries. That's a lineup there, huh? Good old Wriggle. Okay. Yeah, well, hell, we've been waiting for months. It's like, even though the NHL season was going on, I know a lot of us were just like, man, can we fast forward to get baseball started also? So that way that we're not having to wait as long, but it's finally here. And it's nice that, we're on the eve of opening day, besides obviously the Dodgers and Padres that played in Korea. All right, let's see if I can find one more for you. Oh, I got a good one. Venom black carpet photo. You'll like this one too. Oh, okay. Stefan with Ivana. Venom world premiere. I believe that was around 2018. I got one more for you because I always want to make sure I cheer you up, and then we'll go to the next. And then after that, we can go in and go over and discuss any of the other teams that people want to go over in the room. We can go over that. Any photos that people want me to throw up based on, predictions or, X factors or players that they're looking to anticipate having a big year. And then I'll cater to the people in the room. Ooh, I had to hit you with at least one more. Oh, really? See, I did not know that. Nice. That I don't know. They don't really list off in advance, the jerseys that they're going to wear before the season starts, unfortunately. Yeah, you and Matt are going to be on the same mode. It's just either going to be with him on the screen or with Taylor. But that's okay. If that makes you guys happy, that makes me happy. Absolutely. I got you. Throw up a couple hacks, and then we'll get into some of the other teams. And then again, if some of the other Mariner fans come through and I need to kind of go back on what I did, we may do that. I was thinking about doing about 2 hours, on the stream, depending on, if more people ended up coming through, maybe 2 hours and 30 minutes, but I was going to, kind of go through the whole stream, cater to you guys, maybe go through it one more time, depending on if people show up late, and then call it a night. And then obviously we got the Mariner game tomorrow against the Red Sox at 7 o'clock Pacific against the Boston Red Sox. Saw that we have an amazing record on bobblehead night. Overall, we're 8-1 in bobblehead nights overall for the Kraken. So what that tells me is that they need to do more bobble night, nights more often. Like I said, instead of doing maybe a couple a season, maybe start pumping out a lot more. Maybe doing like closer to like 8 a season or something like that, or 10. Because if you're got an 8-1 record, hey, obviously there's going to be a little bit more incentive for the fans to buy the ticket, a little bit more energy in the building when they get a bobblehead. And hey, stats don't lie. When you got an 8-1 record from every game that we have played with the Kraken with a bobblehead that's given out to the crowd with the first 10,000 fans, stats don't lie, baby. Yeah. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, we'll look at the Cardinals. We'll look at the Yankees. We'll go over that. Anybody that you want to be able to specifically go over, Sarah? And we'll go over Cardinals here, and we'll go over Yankees as well. And then anywhere else that we want to go. And then obviously Reds, if we need to go down that particular route for Jordan, if he's still in the building or if he ended up dipping. So we'll go that route. All right, one sec here. Okay, you did. All right. And I'll pull up photos. Of the starting lineup. That way we can take a look at that. I can pull it up on my end as well, but I appreciate that. What did you send it to me? Right there? Okay. Oh, you got everybody on there. You think those are going to be the breakouts? And then Sonny Gray. Yeah, I agree. All right, let's take a look. Let me see here. St. Louis Cardinals. All right, I'll pull up photos here, and then we'll kind of go over like one of the projected lineups here. So give me a sec. I'm gonna get a Cardinal logo for you. And we'll get into some Yankees there for Megan as well. All right, Cardinals logo, animated. All right, so we got one like that. That's kind of dope with a little cursive and whatnot. But I have to get you one with the logo. I got you. All right, let's start it off. All right, delete some of these photos, make some more room. So happy baseball is back. I'm gonna try to get some good ones here. There we go. Quality is key. All right, so projected to start off, leading off, DH Brendan Donovan. Cool photo. And then obviously there might be some changes, based on, and this is obviously going into the season, but things could change. And obviously if there's injuries, things might, be shifted around. But that's the slot that most people think that Donovan will be in. And one sec here. All right, so 2023, 95 games played, 327 at-bats, 48 runs, 93 hits, 34 ribbies, 33 base on balls, 53 strikeouts with a 284 average for Brendan Donovan. And I'm looking. All right, let's take a look. And he had 11 homers in the regular season. And then in spring training, I always dig deep to be able to try to find the stats, and I even found that. So in 2024 spring training, 42 at-bats, 7 runs, 8 hits, no homers, 2 ribbies, 2 stolen bags, 190 average, so definitely quite a bit lower, about almost 100 points lower than what he had in the regular season. OBP of 292 and an OPS of 506. So 27 years old, 6'1", 210. He can bat left or right, so it gives him that versatility, and we'll see what he can end up doing. Brendan Donovan. And then obviously batting in the 2-hole, first baseman Paul Goldschmidt. One of him. Absolute stud. Hall of Famer. And we'll just go 1 through 9, and then obviously your projected pitcher and whatnot, and then we can move on. I'm not, if people want to go more and more, but we want to make sure we take a little bit of time, go through each person a little bit real quick. All right, so with Goldschmidt, let's throw Goldschmidt here in the mix. Got a lot of good players. Just a little bit of an underwhelming year. All right, so Goldschmidt, 154 games played in 2023, 593 at-bats, 89 runs, 159 hits, 80 ribbies, 87 base on balls, 161 strikeouts with a 268 average. And let's go down here. Oh, I clicked on the wrong one. There we go. All right, so 25 home runs in 2023, and then in 2024 spring training, 47 at-bats, 3 runs, 5 hits, 3 runs, 6 hits, 1 home run, 4 ribbies, 1 stolen bag, batting 128 in obviously spring training. So we'll need to get that up, and I'm not really worried about that. Limited at-bats, and Goldschmidt will be able to get on. He's getting up there in age, though. He's 36, 6'3", 225. But we already know that he is a Hall of Famer, and hopefully he ends up having a fantastic season for your St. Louis Cardinals. Batting third, second baseman, Nolan Gorman. Let's take a look at Nolan's numbers. All right, 406 at-bats, 59 runs, 96 hits, 27 homers in 2023. Great year for Nolan, only being 23 years old. 27 homers, 76 ribbies, 7 stolen bags, 236 average. He'll be able to bring that up this season. OBP of 328 with an 806 OPS. 2024 spring training, 43 at-bats, 7 runs, 10 hits, 1 homer, 7 ribbies, 1 stolen bag with a 233 average. So as you can compare like the Mariner player numbers compared to the Cardinals, you can see why the Mariners got so hot and why I feel a lot of the Mariner fan base is very optimistic, because you're noticing, a lot of the players, batting 200, 210, 230, and then you're starting to look at some of the Mariner players batting 300, 350, 385, 390, and again, that doesn't mean that they're going to play great in the regular season, but if you end up being hot in spring training, a lot of times that hotness will carry over, just like it did for Jared Kelenic last season. But I'm not worried about Nolan Gorman. He'll be great in the 3-hole. So leading off, Brandon Donovan, DHing. In the 2-hole, first baseman Paul Goldschmidt. In the 3-hole, second baseman Nolan Gorman. And then another Nolan. In the 4-hole, Nolan Arenado, another first ballot Hall of Famer at third base. I mean, 2 Hall of Famers out of the first 4 guys. That's a good start. And then the other 2 look like they're going to be up and coming and great for you on top of that. So your 1 through 4 hole is great. All right, let's take a look at his stat line from last season. All right, Nolan Arenado, 560 at-bats, 71 runs, 149 hits, 26 homers, 93 ribbies, 3 stolen bags with a 266 average, OPB of 315, OPS of 774, 47 at-bats in 2024 spring training, 5 runs, 11 hits, no homers, no concerns though, 6 ribbies, no stolen bags, 234 average in spring training, an OBP of 308, and an OPS of 648. In the 4-hole, Nolan Arenado. In the 5-hole will be catcher Wilson Contreras. All right, one sec. See if we can get a good one of him. And this is all projected. They may move some of these guys in a different order, but this is all projected. All right, Wilson Contreras, 428 at-bats in 2023, 55 runs, 113 hits, 20 homers, 67 RBIs, 6 stolen bags, 264 average, 358 OPB, OPS of 825, and in spring training, he had 39 at-bats, 4 runs, 10 hits, 1 homer, 8 ribbies, no stolen bags with an average of 256, OPB of 302, and OPS of 764. All right, in the 6-hole in the outfield, Alec Burleson. Throw him up. Plus, I doubt that you knew all those spring training stats offhand unless you were looking at on the daily. So it's always good to kind of have a little bit of a recap on how they did, at that time period. I didn't even know if you were going to be able to find that type of information. There's going to be someone out there that has that information during spring training, even though it's, essentially preseason baseball. All right, Alec Burleson in the 6th hole. Let's take a look what we got here. All right, in 2023, 315 at-bats, 34 runs, 77 hits, 8 homers, 36 ribbies, 3 stolen bags with a 244 average, OBP of 300, OPS of 690, and then in 2024 spring training, 48 at-bats, 3 runs, 18 hits, 1 homer, 8 ribbies, 1 stolen bag, 375 average. So he actually did one of the best in spring training out of all of your players. OPB of 446 and an OPS of almost 1,000, 988. That's the closest to maybe some of the Mariner players that were going beast mode, like Mitch Haniger. Alec Burleson. Alec Michael Burleson. I got you. All right, in the 7-hole, me and Sarah, we have a common player that we enjoy watching, and I ended up going to Seattle last year specifically for this particular player, and was shocked that he even went down in the regular season, which was kind of mind-blowing to me for a player that should be an everyday player on the roster. Who am I talking about in the 7-hole? Outfielder Jordan Walker. And I'm really happy I got a chance to see him before he did get sent down temporarily before they ended up bringing him back up. Lots of potential out of Jordan Walker. Stud. Let's go to his stat. All right, Jordan Walker, 2023 regular season, one of my favorite players on the team. Not that I don't like Donovan and Gorman. Like I said, you already know Goldschmidt and Arenado are the Hall of Famers. There's a lot of nice pieces to be able to root for on this team. 420 at-bats, 51 runs, 116 hits, 16 homers, and if he ended up not getting sent down, I'm pretty sure he would have got 20 or more. 51 ribbies, 7 stolen bags with a 276 average, 342 OBP with a 787 OPS in spring training in 2024. 51 at-bats, 10 runs, 13 hits, 1 homer, 8 ribbies, 2 stolen bags, 255 average. You want to bump that up a little bit. OBP of 361 and an OPS of 753. In the 7-hole, Jordan Walker. In the 8-hole, outfielder Dylan Carlson. Nice to be able to see these baseball photos on screen. It's been a minute. But is he hurt right now? He's got a sprained shoulder. So this is probably, and that happened on March 26th, Monday's exhibition game against the Cubs, right? Expected return is May 1st is what it's saying. So he won't be in the 8-hole, but when he comes back, then he will be in the 8-hole. So we'll have to figure out another spot for Dylan Carlson. So that's why you have to be able to look at your updates and whatnot. But that's normally where he would be sitting, is around that 8-hole spot. But we'll still go over his stat line from last year, even though he had that shoulder injury. And then, let's see here. Let's just move forward to the 9-hole. Let's go to Mason Wynn. Let's go there. Victor Scott. Okay, I'll do Victor Scott then. Let's throw him up. I didn't even see it until at the very last second. I was like, isn't he hurt? There he is. Victor Scott the second. All right, so obviously being a newbie, he's only 23, 5'10", 190, bats left, throws left, 41 at-bats in 2024 spring training, 10 runs, 13 hits, no homers, 1 ribby, 4 stolen bags, and another player that showed out in spring training for the Cardinals this year with a 317 average, 404 OBP, and a 770 OPS. Victor Scott II, playing center field. And then last but not least, in the 9-hole, let's go with Mason Wynn. Nice little refresher for you. All right, Mason Wynn in the 2023 regular season, 122 at-bats, 8 runs, 21 hits, 2 homers, 12 ribbies, 2 stolen bags with a 172 average with an OPB of 230, OPS of 468. In 2024 spring training, 44 at-bats, 6 runs, 10 hits, 0 home runs, 1 ribby, 3 stolen bags, 227 average with an OPB of 320 and an OPS of 638. your starting lineup for your 2024 St. Louis Cardinals. And then is Mikolas, is he going to be the one that's projected to start for you? And you got him, Thompson, Lynn, Matz, and Gibson, right? Is it Miles that's going to be starting for you guys? They already announced that, right? All right, let's throw him up. And sometimes he plays good, sometimes he plays bad. You know, you could say that pretty much for, you know, any pitcher, but it was kind of an up and down year for him last year. Had his moments, you know, but overall it's probably a little bit of a disappointment for most Cardinal fans. All right, 2023 regular season, 9 wins, 13 losses. And if you're going to be the starting pitcher, you got to flip that. You got to be at least 13-9, you know, under 500. But 9 wins, 13 losses, 4.78 ERA. You got to get that as close to 3 as possible. 35 games. Let's see here. 201 innings pitched, 137 strikeouts. If you can get as close to 200 as possible, that would be great for him with a 1.32 whip. All right, and let's see here. And then in spring training, he actually played pretty damn well. 2 wins, no losses with a 2.14 ERA, exactly what you want to see. 5 games played, 5 game saves, 21 innings pitched, 15 strikeouts with a 1.19 whip for Miles Mikolas. 6'4", 230, 35 years old. Bats right and throws right. All right, there we go. A nice little refresher for your Cardinals. Elliot in the building. What's good? Megan, are you still in the room or did you end up dipping out? I can go over some of the Yankee stuff if you're still in the room. Otherwise, I can go over Elliot's roster with the Padres as well. How much time do you got, Elliot? Are you just stopping by or do you got a few minutes? So I've been going over stats and, you know, projected lineups and whatnot. So I already went over the Mariners with the new lineup and whatnot. I got the thumbnail already made for tomorrow, which I'm pretty excited about that. You know, the new design and the new look for the NWSF for the baseball season. It's going to be different from last year and kind of similar to what we have. And I might even sneak peek it tonight, but I'll probably wait till tomorrow. All right, we'll go over some Aaron Judge for you, and then we'll go into I'll go into some of the members that we think that are going to be able to step up, and obviously Juan Soto, the former Padre, is actually on the Yankees with Aaron Judge this season. So we'll go over Aaron Judge and some of the Yankee players here, and give you some info, and then we'll go into the Padres for Elliot, and then if Reflect or any of the other Mariner fans come through, I can kind of go over the whole Mariner lineup that I've already done one more full time before we end up dipping. We'll probably be doing this stream for 2 hours and 30 minutes, and hopefully we can get a little bit more support. Like I said, I got a bill that's due tomorrow, and things have been really, really light, and it's been very, very challenging. So hopefully, hopefully that can end up happening. All right, one sec here. Let me see if I can find a Yankees spinning logo here for you. Oh, baby. Little Aaron Judge in the corner there for you. All rise. All right, let's see here. All right, I'm going to make some more room with the photos. I'm going to delete those. Glad I got to do that for you, Sarah, and give you a little update with things. And you're already on top of it anyways, but nice to be able to go over to some of those spring training numbers if you weren't familiar. Not every hardcore fan is going to watch every game in spring training, if any. So usually just a little bit here, a little bit there, unless you have nothing better to do. And, but definitely takes a different breed to sit through every spring training game. Even I don't watch every spring training game from beginning to end. So, all right, let's throw up a nice Aaron Judge here. One of my favorite players in Major League Baseball. And it also helps, when you go to a Mariner game and you actually get an Aaron Judge ball, which led me to get an Aaron Judge graded autograph rookie, and of course I'm going to be hanging on to that for quite some time, and normally I don't spend too much money, on cards, but again, I got a couple Julio graded rookies that are autographed that are in that 250, 350 range. But the Aaron Judge that I have is one of my most expensive cards that I own. Obviously, prior I had the PSA 9 1986 Fleer Michael Jordan rookie card that I sacrificed for this channel, which now is $20,000 to $30,000. So the Aaron Judge is normally around $600 to $675, which is still a pretty penny for an autograph rookie. And I appreciate you. Jordan with a 20. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. Thank you. This is your first dono to the channel. And I can throw up anything that you want. If you want some Chris Sabo, old school Reds, Eric Davis, you let me know what you want and I got you. I appreciate you very, very much. Jordan with his first dono to the channel. And I'm always going to hustle and I'm always going to grind and I'm always going to have a unique perspective on things and a unique look. I don't copy anybody else. I try to be as original as possible. And thank you so much, man. It means a lot. Again, some streams, we'll hit great numbers. And other streams, it's a little bit more challenging. But to be able to earn a first dono from someone that's not just like 99 cents or $1, and to be able to do something respectable and very appreciative of a $20 number, it means a lot. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Jordan with a 20. And we'll get some Reds photos up for him here in just a moment. Thank you, man. I appreciate you. Much love. Much respect. Bang, baby. 25, 75 to go. All right, let's take a quick look. And for the Yankees here, do you want to know about anybody else besides Aaron Judge, or you just want to be able to kind of see what Aaron Judge is projected for, or what we're going with him? So let's see here. And obviously him getting hurt didn't help his cause, compared to the year before when he had a record-breaking year in 2022. And when he ended up, breaking the home run record of Roger Maris and getting 62. And I was lucky enough to be in Seattle to watch him homer one of those baseballs for number, one of the 62, and then ending up to be able to get one of his baseballs when he ended up coming to Seattle, which was amazing. I got a pretty good track record for baseballs. I've gone to only, like 7 or 8 Mariner games, and I already have 3 baseballs. I got a Kike Hernandez foul ball when I went with my dad. I ended up getting a Julio Rodriguez rookie ball when I went with my friend Justin when we went to go see the Royals and Bobby Witt Jr. And then later on in that year, I predicted I was going to get an Aaron Judge ball, and I must be an alien or a time traveler because I actually did. And I got an Aaron Judge ball in 2022 in that 62 home run season. So In 2023, 106 games, 367 at-bats, 79 runs, 98 hits. He had, 37 homers, 75 ribbies, 88 base on balls, 130 strikeouts, and he had a batting average of 267. Now, if you go back into like his MVP year, the special year where he broke all the records, and it was crazy. That was 157 games played. Obviously, he missed, a good 50 games based off that toe and that foot injury, slamming into that wall at Dodger Stadium, as a lot of people remember. And then 570 at-bats, 133 runs compared to 79 in 2023. So he almost doubled that number. 177 hits to 98 in 2023. So he doubled his runs, doubled his hits. And then as far as home runs, he doubled that as well. He went from 37 last year and he had 62 and broke the record. As far as, not doing steroids or PEDs, we assume that Aaron Judge is the most dominant clean hitter in this generation. And he had 131 RBIs, doubled his number there. He had 75 in 2023, and pretty amazing stat line. And then his overall average in his record-breaking year was 311 compared to 267 last year. Pretty amazing. Sure. And I'll go over a team overview here real quick for you too. Again, you another Yankee Aaron Judge photo here too. But I always like to get things in three. So, at first I ended up getting the Aaron Judge ball. Then I invested in the Aaron Judge autograph rookie graded, which is a BGS 9, and his auto grade is a 10. It's beautiful. I don't think I will ever sell that card. And it's got potential to hit over 1,000 for sure by the time it's said and done. I mean, there's a lot of cards out there, but again, when I look at cards, I always try to look for rookies, and I look for autographs and graded. And that's the stuff that's going to hold value long term. Yankees are going to be much better in the hitting category compared to last year, by not only picking up Juan Soto from, Elliott's Padres, but this will be interesting to see their projected lineup. Bro, and the crazy thing is like I have a lot of ESP moments where I'll like think of something, or I'll have a dream, or something just comes to me and I'll blurt it out and I'll say it out loud, and then it happens. But a lot of the predictions, I'm not going to get every prediction correct, but to predict I'm going to get a Julio ball and an Aaron Judge ball, what are the chances of that happening for even one of them? Yeah, and then actually having it happen, but to be able to predict it on the channel and having it both happen, what is that? 1 in like 10 billion? 1 in 100 billion? Like, what are the actual chances? But I don't know how to explain it, but it happened. And it's definitely two of the most coveted items that I own, and, great stories that are attached to both of those as well. All right, let's go. I'm going to go through the lineup here. So give me a sec. I'm going to try to organize the pictures here ahead of time. I got to delete some of these other ones, though. One sec. they only give me like so many icons that I can end up using. So I have to go through some of my spinning logos and some of my other stuff here to make more room. So be patient with me here real quick. All right, so a projected lineup for the Yankees at second base, leading off Gleyber Torres. And let me see if I can pull up stat lines here. I got many options open here. All right, so in 2023, 596 at-bats, 90 runs, 163 hits, 25 homers, 68 ribbies, 13 stolen bags with a 273 average, OPP of 347 and an OPS of 800. And then in 2024 spring training, 45 at-bats, 10 runs, 16 hits, 3 homers, 7 ribbies, 2 stolen bases with a 356 average. He actually was one of the bright spots in spring training for the Yankees with an OPP of 434 and an OPS over 1,000, 1.078. Gleyber Torres. And one of the players that's going to be very exciting to watch joining his new team. I know Elliot wishes that he was still on the Padres, but it's going to pay dividends for the Yankees because anytime they had an injury to Aaron Judge or to Giancarlo Stanton, they couldn't hit anything last year. And there's a reason why they struggled, but they got this guy, you might have heard of him, Juan Soto. I know Sarah and a few others don't like him. They like to call him Juan Bozo. But hey, Juan Soto, he might not be like my favorite player in Major League Baseball. Some people might think he's a little overpaid and whatnot, but again, he is a gamer. He's probably going to end up being a Hall of Famer, whether we like him or not. And he is going to be a really key addition to this Yankee team. And if they want to be able to make the playoffs, they're going to need good contributions out of Juan Soto. All right, Juan Soto. 6'2", 224, 25 years old, 568 at-bats, 97 runs, 156 hits, 35 homers. He is an all-star, 109 ribbies, 12 stolen bags with a 275 average. The Yankees need that desperately. OBP of 410, OPS of 929, and in spring training, 46 at-bats, 9 runs, 14 hits, 4 homers. He was locked in, 10 ribbies, no stolen bags. And he had a 304 batting average in spring training, which is good, with a OPP of 373 and an OPS of over 1,000 with 1.003. Juan Soto. I think most of the time, if you're a baseball player, I think every fan would agree, 300 average, getting 3 hits out of 10 at-bats. And that's how they do it. So it shows you, like, if you're a good player, you can get 3 hits out of 10 opportunities. Bad players only get 1 or 2. So even getting 1 extra hit, it's just kind of crazy. It shows you how hard baseball is. If you get 2 hits out of 10 and you're batting 200, you might not have a job. But if you get 3 hits out of 10 opportunities and you're batting 300, you're going to get paid millions and millions of dollars. So the difference between 2 hits and 3 hits out of 10, there's a large difference. But I would assume that most people would agree with me. 300 batting average is the goal. But again, if you end up getting 280 or 290, that's still decent and people can settle for that. But if you go below 270, it's a concern. And then obviously if you're below 200, you're going to be not looking very good, and they might be benched or looking for another job. But I think most people would be saying 300 is what most people are looking at. All right, let's go next. And then obviously in the 3-hole will be Aaron Judge. We'll go over that number real quick again. So in the 3-hole, 367 at-bats, 79 runs, 98 hits, 37 homers. But for a guy that, could end up getting 60 to 70 home runs, I'm not sure if there's anyone else in Major League Baseball that could hit 60 or 70 besides this guy. He is true one of a kind. But again, 37 homers last year. More than likely, if he stays healthy for the full season, he should be able to get over 50 homers. It would be kind of shocking if he doesn't, if he plays an appropriate amount of games. 75 ribbies, he should almost double that number, and he had a 267 average, and he should be batting somewhere between 300 and 325, just based off his skill set, unless he has an injury. Batting third, Aaron Judge. And then how much time, Jordan, do you have? Because like I said, I don't want to go through all of these photos. I want to make sure that at least I know if you're going to be in here for a little bit, so I can get you some photos, for your favorite teams or players. What's your timeline like based off your dono? I want to make sure that everyone, gets their photos and feels appreciated. And I don't want to keep anybody waiting, especially if something like that happens. So if you're going to be here for a while, great. If you're going to be dipping shortly, I can always get some photos up for you. If you have any, old school Reds, new school Reds, or any of your football team, let me know. I just wanted to, go over that. So it's okay. We're still going, but I just wanted to throw it out there. All right, and then in the 4-hole, we got Anthony Rizzo, the first baseman. And I'm pretty good with the internets and the interwebs, so I go pretty fast. I just have to be able to have the right, right screens up at the right time. All right, Rizzo, 373 at-bats, 45 runs, 91 hits, 12 homers, which is a little low for him. He's more of a 20 to 25 home run kind of guy. 41 ribbies, no stolen bags. He had a 244 average. He's much better than that. 328 OBP with an OPS of 706. But this is what you like to see. Guys in spring training that, go off, right? 2024 spring training. 35 at-bats. 36 at-bats. 5 runs, 14 hits, 2 homers, 9 ribbies with an average of 389, almost 400, which is unheard of. OBP of 488 and an OPS of 1100, 1.127, which is amazing. So hopefully Rizzo can carry this hot streak that he's had, obviously, in preseason and spring training, right? And now obviously that boosted his mental health, and he was hot, he was electric, and hopefully he can keep it going as well. Anthony Rizzo. Yeah, and I can end up doing Colts photos and whatnot. If you're a Colts fan, I got you. All right, and let's go next. But again, because just because you do good in spring training doesn't mean necessarily it's going to carry over into the regular season, but in most cases it does. If you're hot there, you're going to continue your hot streak. It's not likely for someone to bat almost 400 in spring training and then all of a sudden bat 100, or 200 in the regular season, unless there's some kind of injury. But I'll go through these here, and we'll get some photos up here in just a second. And then I can go over some Reds, and obviously we can go over some stuff for Elliott as well. I really do appreciate you, man. First donos being $20. Not everyone will do something like that. So it means a lot. You know, we've had donos as little as 99 cents and as big as 1,300 for a solo dono. So it definitely means a lot. All right, in the 5 hole, we got Giancarlo Stanton, formerly Mike Stanton, from back in the day. Injury problems, a lot of inconsistencies. He can't run very fast. He's very, very slow, but he's got the power. He's a part of the Bronx Bombers with Aaron Judge, and now they have a trifecta with Juan Soto. So they ramped up, you know, instead of just having, you know, Judge and Stanton, now they have Judge, Stanton, and Soto. So it's going to be very interesting to see where, you know, this goes for New York in 2024. All right, Giancarlo Stanton, 6'6", 245, crazy. 34 years old, 371 at-bats, 43 runs, 71 hits, 24 homers, which is a little low. Stanton should be getting 30 to 40 almost every year if he plays enough games. 60 ribbies, no stolen bags. He had a 191 average, which is fucking terrible. For a guy that's like a superstar type of player, it's kind of crazy that he was able to even get 24 home runs by only batting 191. OBP of 275, OPS of 695, and he was banged up a little bit as well. In spring training, turned it around. 41 at-bats in 2024 spring training, 9 runs, 13 hits, 4 homers. He was locked in, 11 ribbies, no stolen bags, batting average of 317. That's exactly what you want to see, with an OBP of 370 and an OPS over 1,000, 1.029, Giancarlo Stanton. All right, next up, in the 6 hole, playing outfield, going from the Red Sox to the Yankees. A lot of times that's a no-no, but it happens quite often, and we're talking about Alex Verdugo. He had to shave, though, obviously being a part of the Yankees and their strict regimen. And let's go with Verdugo. And we're almost done here, and then we'll move on to the next. A lot of times, Yankee, Red Sox, Yankees, you know, it'll happen. 546 at-bats, 81 runs, 144 hits for Alex, 13 homers, 54 ribbies, 5 stolen bags with a 264 average, OBP of 324, OPS of 745, and in 2024 spring training, 38 at-bats, 5 runs, 9 hits, no homers, 4 ribbies, 1 stolen bag with an average of 237, needs to bring that up, with an OBP of 333 and an OPS of 596, Alex Verdugo, the former Red Sox. All right, in the 7 hole, playing shortstop, this phenom caught a lot of eyes, including mine. One of my favorite players on the Yankees, not named Aaron Judge. Who is it? Sitting in the 7 hole, playing shortstop, Anthony Volpe. This guy's a stud. All right, let's go here with Anthony. All right, Volpe, he's only 22, 5'9", 180, plays shortstop, bats right, throws right, 541 at-bats, 62 runs, 113 hits, 21 homers, 60 ribbies, 24 stolen bags with a 209 average. Needs to bring that up closer to 280 if possible. OBP of 283, OPS of 666, and it's not the devil. And 2024 spring training, 51 at-bats, 8 runs, 16 hits, 1 homer, 5 ribbies, 4 stolen bags with a 314 average. So it brought his average up almost 100 points from last regular season to spring training. OBP of 364 and OPS of 835. He is a fan favorite, not only for Yankee fans, but for MLB fans across the globe. Anthony Volpe. He's an easy guy to root for. It's like Derek Jeter. It's like, how can you hate the guy? I mean, even Red Sox fans, respected him. All right, we got 2 more for the Yankees, and then we'll move on and we'll get some photos up. And then we will also go to E as well. So one sec here. You got to be super fast with the internets. You feel me? All right. In the 8 hole for the Yankees, playing third base, Oswaldo Cabrera. Let's take a look at Oswaldo's numbers. Your boy's got to work fast, baby. All right, 2023 regular season, 298 at-bats, 35 runs, 63 hits, 5 homers, 29 ribbies, 8 stolen bags with a 211 average, 275 OBP with an OPS of 574. In 2024 spring training, 47 at-bats, 5 runs, 10 hits, 2 homers, 3 ribbies, 2 stolen bags with a 213 average, OBP of 302, OPS of 664. He's one of the kind of bottom-end guys on the team, so anything that you can get out of him based off of him being 25 years old will be a plus for New York. And then I got one last piece. But you get all your baseball information here, not only with Aaron Judge, but, overall with the Yankees. Like I said, I'm going to be able to break things down a lot better than most people as far as a preview going into the regular season. It's like, even if you're not familiar with too much, you just pay attention to what we go over and you'll have an idea. All right. In the 9 hole, playing catcher, Jose Trevino. And let's go to his projected and his stat line. All right, so Jose in the 9 hole, 157 at-bats, 15 runs, 33 hits, 4 homers, 15 ribbies, no stolen bags with a 210 average, 257 OBP with an OPS of 569. And then in spring training, 20 at-bats, 3 runs, 5 hits, 1 homer, 3 ribbies, no stolen bags. Improved his average to 250, OBP of 238, and OPS of 638. So if you're really looking at, the bottom end of the Yankees lineup is going to be the worst part, and usually your worst hitters and your worst players typically are going to be in the 8 and the 9 hole. So Oswaldo Cabrera and Jose Trevino, I don't think Yankee fans are expecting anything from those 2 guys, but for everyone else, Torres, Soto, Judge, Rizzo, Stanton, Verdugo, Volpe, the better that those 7 guys do, the better that the Yankees are going to do overall. Big facts. All right, let me scroll up a little bit. I just got your, I went up and I'm going to make sure I'm going through all the comments. See, that's what I'm talking about, and like I said, there is a need for someone like you, on Twitter/X, and don't let your followers dictate your work ethic. You know what I mean? Like, even though you want to have more and more people look at your content, worry about the people that are caring about your content now and keep pushing it out. And the more that you're going to push it out, the more results you're going to get. And I'm going to be honest with you. With someone that just started Twitter/X like you might not be satisfied with how many followers that you have based on the people that you're following, but you get more of a response on replies and you get more interactions and more likes and retweets than most people would based on what you're doing. So, and that's me being honest, based on, because a lot of times when people put out that type of information, you might get like one person or none. But if you notice on a lot of your stuff, you're getting 3, 4, 5 people liking it or retweeting it. And that's not common for someone just starting off Twitter/X. And, even if it's a couple friends or someone like me that's liking or sharing some of the stuff that you're doing, you know what I mean? But you're getting better results early on based on your content than most people would based off starting off so soon. So keep that in mind. Keep going. And I appreciate you. All right, let me keep scrolling down. Yes. Very true. You and Sarah have something in common, being Colts fans. That's awesome. And if you want me to throw up AR or Josh Downs, or you want to go old school Peyton Manning or Dwight Freeney or whatever you want to go football for photos, you want to go baseball, you let me know. I got you. Yeah. And like I was telling Sarah, with AR, I don't think he's that, far off of CJ Stroud. If AR would have played a full season, you guys would have made the playoffs. 100%, as either a divisional winner or a wild card. Like I said, he's got a lot of talent, and like I said, he's got the Cam Newton frame, and we know he can run, and he's got a little bit more touch in that arm than Cam Newton did. Cam Newton kind of shot put the throws. I think AR is more of a natural thrower, but the thing is, it's decision making, knowing when to take a sack, when to throw the ball away, when to not throw into double and triple coverage, and when to go down and not take unnecessary hits on the sideline or in the line of scrimmage. And if he can learn that, then he's not going to have these season-ending injuries. And that's really the only thing that's going to hold him back is AR himself. Oh, you went to the Steeler game in Indy? Nice. Colts, Bengals in Cincy? Nice. Yeah, me too. Me too. And plus, like I said, if you had not really knowledge, now you know a little bit more than you did going in. So again, Torres, Soto, Judge, Rizzo, Stanton, Verdugo, Volpe. Those are the guys to watch. But if you're just going to narrow it down, the main 3, will be Judge, right? Soto coming in from the Padres, Stanton. Those will be the big 3. And then obviously the role players, Volpe, Verdugo, Torres, they should be able to put up some good numbers as well. But obviously the big 3, Soto, Judge, Stanton. And it might, hell, Stanton, if he gets injured, Volpe will be able to take his place as part of the big 3. So, they almost have like a big 4, because I feel Volpe is good enough to be considered to be a part of the big 4, even over guys like Gleyber Torres, who puts up numbers to be considered a big 4 too. I mean, look at the home runs, 25, 36, 45, 22, 27, 13, 19. These are projected numbers for the first 7. 25, 36, 45, 22, 27, 13, and then it goes to 19. And then the bottom 2 guys, Cabrera and Trevino, are only projected for 5 or 7. So there we go. Age and just slow, but he's got power. He's really big. He's a big player. And again, for someone of his stature, he's been in the league for quite some time. He's not young anymore. He's 34, and he's 6'6", 245. So compared that with like Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton is 6'6", 245. Aaron Judge is 6'7", 282. So, I mean, we're talking about Bronx Bombers, guys that are really big in stature, and they have home run power. MSU in the building. What's good? I like the confidence. I see you. Yeah, he's a phenom. Like I said, I think most Yankee fans after Aaron Judge, and obviously the hype with Soto, but I would say most Yankees fans, I would say Aaron Judge is number 1, but I think Volpe is a lot of Yankee fans is number 2, even over Stanton, because he's like a phenom. He's young, and he brings a lot of pop. He's got a lot of energy, a lot of swagger, and sometimes, when you have a new guy that gets called up, he becomes a fan favorite, just like Jordan Walker for Sarah's Cardinals as one. Volpe is a similar type of guy, on the up and up that should get much better as the years go on. All right, I'm going to scroll down here. MSU's like, I'm not going to wait for O-Dog to do it. I'm going to let you know. Get us educated on the Tigers. I love it. There we go. Spencer Torkelson, Colt Keith, Javier Baez, Gio Urshela, Jake Rogers, Mark Hanha, Parker Meadows, Kerry Carpenter, Riley Green, and on the bench, Andy Ibanez, Matt Vierling, and Carson Kelly. Love it. I love it. And thank God baseball names are just as easy to pronounce as NFL names. And sometimes when you end up getting into the NHL, you get some of those Russian, French, Canadian, Slovakian names, and it gets a little bit difficult. And sometimes some of the names on Major League Baseball will, but I mean, I've been doing full-time baseball for a while now, and I've been watching since like 85, so I think I'm pretty versed with it. There you go. There you go. Trent Grisham isn't starting? Yeah. And a lot of people feel that he's going to be a top 10 pitcher this year. So definitely a lot of eyeballs there. All right, what would you like for photos, Jordan? I want to be able to get you some photos before you dip. And like I said, I do really appreciate your support. Not a lot of people will come through. And, like I said, if you want to do a little bit of baseball and a little bit of the Colts with AR, you just let me know what you want, based off your favorite players. And then, I got you. All right, let's take a look. Let's get to know Jordan here. Okay, AR. Yeah. So you're just like Sarah. Agreed. Okay, Reds, Colts, Pacers, Blues. Nice. Blues for her too, as well as our buddy John Jansen as well. Johnny Bench. Nice. One of the best catchers of all time. Absolutely. Okay, I love it. I'll sprinkle in a little bit there, and it's always good to do that, so that way in the future we'll know what your favorites are. And I like to pay attention, and there are other goats that are in the room who like to pay attention to that also. All right, so let's do that. I got spinning logos here for you. All right, I got Cincinnati Reds spinning logo, and I got like one of the alternate logos too. Adds a little flair to the stream, which I love. Oh, baby, old school. My goodness. Oh, hold up. Oh, my goodness. I could hit you with the trifecta, too. Reds have a lot of choices because they've gone through a lot of logos, over the years. Ah, baby. That's cool. Reflect in the building. What's good? All right, no problem. I got you. No worries. Let's go M's, baby. No, I'll restart the show for you. Like I said, I'm gonna go do photos here for Jordan. He donated a 20 for his very first donation to the channel. So I went through the Mariners, then I did the whole Cardinals, and I also do spring training stats as well as last year's stats, projected lineups, and then I'll go over and do it again for you. I was actually just waiting for you or some of the other Mariner people to show up, but they might be busy, but they'll probably be in the room, I would assume, tomorrow for the game. And then we'll go a little bit for Elliott as well for the Padres. 25, 75 to go. Let's get there. My gosh. He's got more options for spinning logos than any other team I've ever seen. This is ridiculous. Look at this. I don't even know which one I like the best. I like them all. Okay, we can go bam, that one. Reds with the C around it, right? Then you get the old logo, right, with the baseball. But a lot of times, unless you're a Reds fan, you don't know that's Cincinnati Reds, right? Then you go to this one, which I like a little bit more because you get to see the image, you know, and then he's got the Reds cap on. Cool. Oh, and then you got him inside. I don't even know which one I like the best. Oh, man. I mean, this is standard. And then this is old school, so I'll have an appreciation for it. But I think I'm leaning towards this one, or maybe even this one. Woo! Those are nice. And I'll be sprinkling those in when I end up doing Mariners and versus Reds and whatnot, too. Reflect with a 5-er. You let me know which one you like the best out of those 4. Appreciate you, man. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little cactus jack. Bang, bang. Appreciate you. $5 holla. Bang, bang. Yeah, I would say 3 and 4 are the best. You know, we'll do half the photos with this and we'll go half the photos with that, but we'll leave it on that one for now. That one kind of pops on the screen a little bit more. Like this one is just standard and, you know, it's a kind of vanilla, you know, and this is kind of chocolate, just, you know, regular. And then this one gets, you know, a little bit, you know, like it, I don't have any logos that spin that look like this. So that's why I love this one. And then obviously you got the Reds logo with him in it, and then it kind of puts it all together. So we'll go here, and then we'll go back and forth. All right, let's go some Johnny Bench. Good call. Now, like I said, the Mariners are my team, but obviously my dad is a Dodger fan, and he's been a Dodger fan since the 50s. So, you know, as far as, you know, being able to, you know, have that appreciation for old school players, you know, I'm a Sandy Koufax guy, I'm a Don Drysdale guy, but I got mad respect for Johnny Bench. And it's cool when we can end up, because half of the fan base is under 40 and half the fan base is over 40. So it's always nice to be able to mix in a little bit of the young and a little bit of the old. And you know I'm not going to hit you with just like current photos of him retired. I got to have some black and white greatness for you. You know, I'm always going to be known for the HD 4K. Oh, Johnny. NWSF. That's why I stay undefeated, baby. Oh, baby. Let's go. See, things like this is what I live for. You know, like the old school vibes. Let's go. Very cool. I'm gonna hook you up with the Great 8. And unless you're a Reds fan, you don't know what that is. I mean, most people do if you're a Cincinnati Red fan, but if you're not, then good stuff. Let's go. Lots of greatness there. And then I got to hit you with a color version and with Pete Rose. We got to have that. I mean, you can see Pete in there kind of off to the left. Third, you got Johnny Bench on the far left, and then third in. But we got to get a color photo too. Big red machine, baby. And we don't have too many Reds fans on the channel, so I'm really happy that you're a part of this channel, man. It's always good to be able to, you know, have new members join the NWSF, and not only that, to be able to sprinkle in a lot of history, especially of a special time like the Big Red Machine. Very cool. go, baby. Oh yeah, very cool. I'm gonna scroll up at the comments here a little bit. Yeah, the Josh Reynolds signing was good for the Broncos. You know, a very underrated receiver, good hands. You know, and if anyone gets hurt, you know, he'll be able to step up. And you know, again, you know, the Jared Goff and the Goffense connection was pretty strong, and we have to see who the quarterback is, if it ends up being Bo Nix or not, you know, for Denver. But I do like the Reynolds pickup. More of a Cubs fan later on, yeah. Good old Charlie Hustle. Yeah, and Reds and Mariners have a lot of players that have played on both, or, you know, there's always going to be some, you know, connections, and especially with Ken Griffey Jr. So I've always kind of watched them from afar as well. I know, it's cool, man. It's like, and like MSU Tigers, you know, we don't really have too many Tiger fans either. So it's always cool. And again, you know, I'm going to be known as, you know, probably the main person that covers the Mariners, you know, game in and game out. I don't really know if there's going to be anyone else that's going to be able to match the intensity as well as the statistics and, you know, grinding out games, you know, as much as me. But again, it's always nice to be able to, you know, find people that represent other teams, and then we can end up incorporating certain broadcasts with that as well. Hold on here. We ain't done yet. And we got a couple legends here. See if you recognize any of those. Recognize any of those legends there? Hank Aaron, Johnny Bench, Sandy Koufax, my guy, Willie Mays. But who's the last one? That's the key. Can you name the last one? Hank Aaron, Johnny Bench, Sandy Koufax, Willie Mays. Who's the last one? And of course, with Griffey, you know, being my favorite player, we got to hit you with at least one Griffey image on the Reds, even if it was a different time. But meeting Ken Griffey Jr. changed my life forever, 100%. You know, if I didn't meet him when I was in first grade and meet his dad, and, you know, who knows where we would be today. My guy. Griffey, baby. Not many people in Oregon and Washington got to meet Griffey back in the day, but I was lucky enough. And I was lucky enough to meet Sandy as well. Let's go. All right. Elliot, like I said, anything you specifically want me to go over? Do you want me to go over all the Padres? Do you want me to go over spring training numbers for someone specific? You got anything specific that you want me to go over photo-wise for the Padres or anything like that? Let me know, and I got you. Anything else that you want to be able to see photo-wise too, Jordan? You want to see AR or anything like that? You let me know. And then obviously I'll redo the show that I did at the beginning for Reflect. I wouldn't normally do it for that many people, but for Reflect, I definitely would. So, all right, one sec here. All right, Elliot, let me see what I got here. Oh, I got you, man. No worries. Well, like I said, you are one of the main people that really genuinely care, about the Mariners as much as I do. So, of course, I got you. All right, I got to delete some of these other photos to make room, but I love it, man. That's cool. We got a Reds super fan in the building. I love it. Whenever I think of Reds and I think of my childhood, I think of Chris Sabo and those goggles. Rob Dibble. All the baseball cards that I collected back in that era. All right, let's go projected lineup for the Padres for Elliot, and then I'll redo the show from the start with the Mariners. I got photos, projected lineup, stats from last year, as well as the spring training stats. So I'm going all out. I'm not cutting corners. And hopefully we can get more baseball fans to be able to join the NWSF this year. of these other photos to make room for the Padres and Elliott. Give me a sec here. I'm just getting all the photos all at once instead of just doing one at a time. Figured that will be smarter and it'll make it go faster. And it's a lot better to be able to like attach a name to a face rather than, you know, just talking about it. Almost done. Plus, I got to get photos that are worthy enough for this channel. Just can't have any photo. We don't roll like that. Take pride in it. All right. One more. Some of the lineup is still intact, but there's some spots that are a little different. So. All right, let's start it off. So projected lineup for the Padres for Elliott. Let me take a look at the comments here before we get started so I can scroll up. No problem, I got you. Yes, it will be awesome. Nasty boys. You know it. Reflect with a 13er. Appreciate that, man. Especially when that vet bill, you know, like I ended up taking her to the vet, and I was hoping it was going to be like 150 to 200, but it ended up being like $3, because then they ended up checking her for like heartworm and doing the test, and that was like $26. And then I didn't know that they were going to send us with like preventative medication, which was $120. So the whole bill ended up being a lot more than I anticipated. So I appreciate it. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks. A little Cactus Jack, bang, bang, $13 dono. And I think I do have a bill due tomorrow, too. So everything that could be done on the Cash App side or the Super Chat side is definitely going to help. So appreciate you. Vet stuff, expensive. But for Paisley, you know, you got to do what you got to do. 43 doll hairs, 57 to go. Let's get there. No problem. I'll check up on you, even if you don't hop in the streams when I do the Mariners and the Red Sox for the next 4 days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'll check up on you on Instagram, and if I see anything cracking, Seahawks, you know, Mariners, Ichiro, you know, anything like that, Hack, you know, McDonald, Pete, I'll send you something, and I'll check up on you, make sure that you're okay. All right, I think I'm all caught up. Appreciate you. We'll get some more photos for you, and we'll get into the Mariners here in just a second. All right, so leading off for the projected lineup, and this could change. Elliot will tell you, right? We got Xander Bogaerts, and then let's go with stats, and I got everything pulled up here, thank God. All right, Xander Bogaerts. And so the 2024 regular season, they played 2 games against the Dodgers in Korea. So 9 at-bats, 3 runs, 4 hits, no home runs, 3 ribbies, no stolen bags, 444 average, 500 OBP, 944 OPS. Now in 2023, 596 at-bats, 83 runs, 170 hits, 19 homers, 58 ribbies, 19 stolen bags with a 285 average, 350 OBP, 790 OPS, and then in 2024 spring training, we'll even throw out those numbers. We got 35 at-bats, 5 runs, 8 hits, no homers, 1 ribby, no stolen bags, 229 average with a 308 OBP and an OPS of 651. Xander Bogaerts, 6'2", 218, bats right, throws right, 31 years old, leading off for the Padres. All right, in the 2-hole, projected right fielder Fernando Tatis Jr. So 2024 regular season there against the Dodgers in Korea, 8 at-bats, 2 runs, 3 hits, no homers, 1 ribby, no stolen bags, an average of 375, fantastic, OBP of 500, OPS of 875, and then in 2023 regular season, 575 at-bats, 91 runs, 148 hits, 25 homers, 78 ribbies, 29 stolen bags with a 257 average, OBP of 322, OPS of 771, and we'll even throw in some spring training numbers, 31 at-bats, 2 runs, 7 hits, 1 homer, 5 ribbies, 1 stolen bag with a 226 average and an OBP of 306 and an OPS of 693. Batting second, right fielder Fernando Tatis Jr. Batting third, first baseman Jake Cronenworth. All right, so 2024 regular season in Korea against the Dodgers, 8 at-bats, 2 runs, 4 hits, no homers, 4 ribbies, no stolen bags. He's batting .500, OBP of .500 as well, and an OPS over 1,000, 1.250. Regular season last year, 458 at-bats, 54 runs, 105 hits, 10 homers, 48 ribbies, 6 stolen bags, 229 average, 312 OBP, 690 OPS, and in 2024 spring training, 29 at-bats, 6 runs, 7 hits, 1 homer, 4 ribbies, 1 stolen bag with a 241 average, an OBP of 450, and OPS of 829. Batting third, Jake Cronenworth. Batting fourth, Manny Machado. In Korea against the Dodgers, 7 at-bats, 3 runs, 1 hit, 1 homer, 3 ribbies, no stolen bags. He's batting .143. Come on, Machado. OBP of 400, OPS of 971. 2023 regular season, 543 at-bats, 75 runs, 140 hits, 30 homers, 91 RBIs, stolen bags 3, 258 average with an OBP of 319 and OPS of 781. And then in 2024 spring training, at-bats 32, 4 runs, 10 hits, no homers, 5 ribbies, no stolen bags with a batting average of 313 with an OBP of 333 and an OPS of 771. Batting fourth and cleanup, Manny Machado. Batting fifth, second baseman Ha Seong Kim. All right, 2024 regular season, 7 at-bats, no runs, no hits, no homers, 1 RBI, 1 stolen bag, 0.000 batting average. Tough going to his homeland of Korea with his family and friends in the stands. That's tough, but I know he'll bounce back. OBP of 200, OPS of 200. 2023 regular season, 538 at-bats, 84 runs, 140 hits, 17 homers. You know, should be able to get over 20 this season. 60 ribbies, 38 stolen bags, 260 average, 351 OBP with a 749 OPS. But if he ends up falling short of 20, he'll probably be around the same number, 17, 18, 19 homers. But obviously starting off with nothing, you know, against the Dodgers in Korea, that's a tough start, especially going back to the homeland in his home country. 2024 spring training numbers, 31 at-bats, 4 runs, 10 hits, 1 homer, 6 ribbies, 3 stolen bags with a 323 average in spring training, OBP of 389, and an OPS of 905. Seong Kim. Batting sixth, throw it far, hit it far, Jurickson Profar. One of Elliott's favorites. When he got traded away, he cried. And then he came back to the team. Lucky you. 2024 regular season in Korea against the Dodgers. 5 at-bats, 0 runs, 1 hit, 0 homers, 0 ribbies, 0 stolen bags, 200 average, 429 OBP, and a 629 OPS. He'll be fine. Last year in 2023 regular season, 459 at-bats, 55 runs, 111 hits, 9 homers, 46 ribbies, 1 stolen bag, 242 average, 321 OBP with a 689 OPS. And in 2024 spring training, 24 at-bats, 2 runs, 6 hits, 1 homer, 4 ribbies, 1 stolen bag with a 250 average, OBP of 333, and an OPS of 791. NWSF, often imitated, never duplicated. You can't do it like me. Big facts. And batting seventh. Who is it? Luis Campusano. All right, Luis. 5'11", 232, 25 years old, bats right, throws right, career, regular season, nah, we ain't going there. We're doing 2024 regular season, 10 at-bats, 2 runs, 3 hits, no homers, 2 ribbies, no stolen bags. He's batting 300. He's actually doing really well for the Padres at this point. OBP of 300 as well, OPS of 800. 2023 regular season, 163 at-bats, 27 runs, 52 hits, 7 homers, 30 ribbies, no stolen bags with a 319 average, 356 OBP with an OPS of 847. And in 2024 spring training, 36 at-bats, 5 runs, 9 hits, 1 homer, 4 ribbies, no stolen bags, 250 average with an OBP of 289, OPS of 678. MLB Network, I'm here. Batting 8th, you already know who it is, Tyler Weed. 2024 regular season in Korea versus the Dodgers. 5 at-bats, 2 runs, 3 hits, no homers, 1 ribby, no stolen bags, batting 600. Holy shit. 667 OBP, damn, and an OPS over 1,000, 1.267. My goodness. 2023 regular season, 51 at-bats, 8 runs, 13 hits, no homers, 2 RBIs, 4 stolen bags, 255 average with a 309 OBP, 623 OPS, and in 2024 spring training, 36 at-bats, 10 runs, 10 hits, 1 homer, 7 ribbies, 4 stolen bags, 278 average with an OBP of 350 and an OPS of 794. Mariners, I'm here. And last but not least, who is it? Jackson Merrill. All right, Jackson, 2024 regular season against the Dodgers, 8 at-bats, 2 runs, 2 hits, 0 home runs, 0 ribbies, 0 stolen bags, batting 250, OBP of 250, OPS of 625. 2024 spring training numbers, 42 at-bats, 8 runs, 14 hits, 2 homers, 6 ribbies, 2 stolen bags with a 333 average, OBP of 378, and an OPS of 926. Jackson Merrill. Quick recap. Xander Bogaerts leading off. Batting second, Fernando Tatis Jr. Batting third, Jake Cronenworth. Batting cleanup and batting fourth, Manny Machado. Batting fifth, second baseman, Ha-Seong Kim. Batting sixth, hit it far, throw it far, Jurickson Profar. Batting seventh, Luis Campusano. Batting eighth, Tyler Wade. And batting ninth, Jackson Merrill. Can't stop, won't stop, but I'm not Diddy. I don't flee out of the country. I ain't built like that. All right, let me scroll up. Agreed. Has to. For Juan Soto leaving, there has to be, Machado and Fernando Tatis Jr. have to play great. It would be fantastic if they both could get 40 homers and whatnot, but they're going to need a lot of production. I would agree. Crone Zone. Yep, we will see. It's funny. Out of all the players that have ever gotten pinched or suspended for drugs or PEDs, he literally is the only one that I like. Everyone else, I'm like, fuck that guy. He cheated. He's a cheater. I hate him. But for whatever reason, his swagger, his personality, how he is off the field, I like him. He might be the only guy, that ended up, doing the PEDs either on purpose or not that I actually genuinely like. And that's from any team that has gotten pinched. Fernando Tatis Jr. You could argue he's the most likable guy on the team, even after what happened. Obviously Manny Machado will get a lot of love as well. And obviously you'll get good role players like Profar and Kim, right? But a lot of people have Tatis as their favorite player, even over Machado. And I know why. I'm getting caught up on the comments here. Yeah, that's what I was feeling too. And yeah, Tatis in a full year, time away from the suspension, and then they could just purely focus. Don't got to worry about Juan Soto in the lineup anymore. So big years coming, hopefully, for those two. Profar and Kim as your favorite player. I love it. Yeah, so Elliot's got it right. So Yu Darvish, Joe Musgrove, Dylan Cease, Michael King, and in the 5 hole, because Elliott left it out, Matt Waldron. Nice job, E. If this was a few years ago, before you dove into baseball, you would have no idea what the hell is going on. And now you're doing fantasy baseball, and you're diving in. And like I said, sometimes having a road trip, with friends can change everything. And now your love for baseball is just like your love for the NFL. And sometimes it might even be just as high or higher at times. So, all right. So we got those out of the way. And then I'll start over here, the show for Reflect and the Mariners. All right, baby. Let's go. Opening day. Luis Castillo, I see you. But this is a projected lineup, and things could change, but just based on watching spring training and, reading the articles, following the Mariners on all the socials, this is what I feel more than likely what we will see tomorrow, unless there ends up being some type of change last minute. Leading off for the Mariners, 6'2", 202, 29 years old, playing shortstop, J.P. Crawford. 2023 regular season, 534 at-bats, 94 runs, 142 hits, 19 homers. Let's get over 20 this season if possible. 65 RBIs, 2 stolen bags, average of 266, OBP of 380, and an OPS of 818. In 2024 spring training, me and Reflect look at these stats very closely. 44 at-bats, 9 runs, 15 hits, 1 homer, 5 ribbies, no stolen bags. He's batting .341, OBP of 408, OPS of 885, and to go from 1-9-1, the worst team in Major League Baseball in spring training, to actually being above 500 and finishing like 15-13. A lot of the reason is because a lot of our players were batting above 300 and well above 300. So I really like the chemistry that we're starting to have with Jared Kelenic going to the Braves. I don't want to say necessarily good riddance, but we don't need him, and obviously we know with Teoscar Hernandez, we like the production that he had with his homers and some of his key RBIs, but he struck out too much. He'll strike out a lot for the Dodgers, but it's a better fit with supporting cast over there for him to succeed. And the only one I'm really going to miss is Eugenio Suarez, besides obviously our closer from last season, which we ended up making a trade, but we got 2 starters out of it. Leading off, J.P. Crawford. Batting second, center fielder, Julio Rodriguez. And typically when you end up having a player of Julio's caliber, okay, normally you're going to get into your prime in years 4 through 7. This is year number 3. I would not be shocked if we get a 40 home run, 40 RBI, 40 home run, 40 stolen base, 40-40 season. And at some point, we're going to have a 50-50 season. It's going to, probably be sooner than later, but we'll have to see what Julio can do. A little bit of a down year in last year, with his numbers and the sophomore slump after, making the playoffs in his rookie year. All right. 2023 regular season, 654 at-bats, 102 runs, 180 hits, 32 homers, 103 RBIs. That number should be much higher than 103. We should be getting closer to like 140 or 150. Stolen bags, 37, 275 average. He should be batting 300 to 330 if we're really being honest. If he's a top 10 player, and if he wants to be top 5 or top 3, or if he wants to be the top dog over Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani and Ronald Acuna, you're going to have to get that up. OBP of 333, OPS of 818, and in spring training, 33 at-bats, 10 runs, 13 hits, 2 homers, 7 ribbies, 1 stolen bag, average in spring training, 394, OBP of 512, OPS of 1.179. And that's why you have to understand, not only do we have a top 5 pitching staff, most people would say number 1, number 2, or number 3, if you want to be a hater, number 4 or number 5. And even though on paper, some of the pieces are new, some of the pieces are coming back to us, and, we're going to have to get big numbers. But again, in spring training, hot start for not only J.P. Crawford, but for Julio Rodriguez. In the 3-hole, playing second base, I'm very excited about this player, and based on how he does, as well as Garver, Haniger, Canzone, France, and Rojas, That's going to be the difference between 80 to 88 wins to 90 to 95, 95 to 100, or 100 to 105 wins if we overachieve. Jorge Polanco. Let's go. 2023 regular season, 302 at-bats, 38 runs, 77 hits, 14 homers, 48 ribbies, 4 stolen bags with a 255 average, 335 OBP with a 789 OPS, and in 2024 spring training. This one you thought it couldn't get any better for JP Crawford and Julio Rodriguez. Listen to these numbers. 43 at-bats, 10 runs, 18 hits, 3 homers, 17 ribbies, no stolen bags with an average of 419. Are you fucking kidding me? 3 guys above 300 and a guy in 400 in the first 3 spots? Get the fuck out of here. 490 OBP with an OPS over 1,000, 1.234. There's no one better in spring training as the 1-2-3 hole than the Seattle Mariners. Unbelievable. 5'11", 208. He's 30. I see you, baby. And if you're wondering where he came from the Minnesota Twins. Played there from 2014 all the way here to 2023. Jorge Polanco, baby. Batting fourth and playing cleanup. We don't have Mike Ford anymore. Who is it? You already know. Mitch Garver. Once the enemy, now a part of the squad. Let's get into Garv's numbers. And we need him to play great. You know, if we have any chance to be able to beat the Astros and the Rangers, you know, if we want to be right there with the Orioles at the end of the day, you know, the teams that I'm really going to focus on this season are the Orioles, the Mariners, and the Diamondbacks. I feel that a lot of people are still sleeping on those 3 teams, and we'll prove how good we really are. All right, Mitch Garver. 2023 regular season for the world champs, Texas Rangers. 296 at-bats, 45 runs, 80 hits, 19 homers. He'll get over 20 home runs with us this season, guaranteed. 50 RBIs, no stolen bags, batting .270 with a 370 OBP and an OPS of 870. And in 2024 spring training, not as hot as the first 3, Crawford, Rodriguez, or Polanco, but still respectable. 42 at-bats, 6 runs, 11 hits, 2 homers, 10 ribbies, no stolen bags with a 262 average, OBP of 354, OPS of 830. Mitch Garver. And if you're wondering where he came from the Minnesota Twins in 2017, played a few years there until 2021. The Rangers picked him up, and that was a great pickup for them in 2022. Played for them for 2 years, 2022 and 2023, and you probably saw him, obviously, in that World Series celebration. No longer the enemy, Mitch Garver playing cleanup and DH for the Seattle Mariners. Batting fifth, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. One of my personal favorites on the team, because as far as positional players, it was always Cal Raleigh, JP Crawford, Julio, and Eugenio Suarez. But now I have to find someone to fill Eugenio Suarez's role, you know, and I'm always going to be a George Kirby, Bryce Miller type of guy. No disrespect against Logan Gilbert or Luis Castillo, but, you know, everyone's going to have their favorites, and I like guys that are within the organization. Either we draft or, you know, we develop them ourselves. But sometimes you still have to get guys from other teams like Castillo, and as well as Eugenio Suarez when we brought them in from the Cincinnati Reds. Big dumper, Cal Raleigh in the 5-hole playing catcher. Harry Ford will be coming up, at some point either this season or next season, and then we can always move Cal to DH as well, or you can switch them off between him and Mitch Garver. Okay, 2023 regular season, 513 at-bats, 78 runs, 119 hits, 30 homers, the most underrated catcher in Major League Baseball, the most power hitter as a catcher in Major League Baseball, and the thing is, he could actually get higher than 30 home runs. He's got potential to get as high as in the 40s if he can get into a right groove and not strike out as much. 75 ribbies, If he can get that up to, over 100, that's when we're talking in business. No stolen bags, 232 average. We need you to be at minimum 270, and preferably over 300, but, coulda, woulda, shoulda. Not everyone is going to be a 300 hitter, but he could, improve his batting average from 232 to 270. I don't think that's asking too much, but he could hopefully one day get close to 270, 280, 290. I'm not sure if he'll ever be a 300 hitter, but we can always pray and hope. OBP of 306, OPS of 762, and in 2024 spring training, 39 at-bats, 8 runs, 10 hits, 4 homers, 13 ribbies, 1 stolen bag with an average of 256. Slightly better than he did in the regular season, but not good enough. OBP of 341 and an OPS of 982. And he lost a little bit of weight in his ass and his legs, so he might not be big dumper. It might be mini dumper, small dumper. But one thing that I want to see him improve on is throwing guys out from the catcher position. Harry Ford has got a better arm than him, and at some point, Harry Ford will be our day in, day out catcher. But if he can improve on that statistic alone, that'll buy him some time. Big dumper, 5-hole hitter, catcher, Cal Raleigh. In the 6th hole, someone that we're familiar with, right fielder, Mitch Haniger. Obviously has a little bit of an injury problem, from time to time. But Mitch, you've been great, and I'm really happy that you're back. Let's go over Mitch Haniger's numbers. All right, 2023 regular season, 211 at-bats, 27 runs, 44 hits, 6 home runs, and he was injured last season, remember. 28 RBIs, 1 stolen bag with a 209 average, OBP of 266, OPS of 631. 2024 spring training, one of the hottest guys in spring training as well. 39 at-bat, 8 runs, 15 hits, 5 home runs. You kidding me? 7 ribbies, no stolen bags with a 385 average. Love it. OBP of 442, OPS of over 1,000, 1.288. Mitch, am I glad that you're back? Yes, I am. Mitch Haniger started off with Arizona in 2016, was a Mariner from 2017 to 2022, and then had that injury-riddled season with the Giants last season where he only played 61 games. So if we can find a way for him not to be as injury prone, and we can have a season like he had maybe in 2018 where he played 157 games, or in 2021, we are in business. Mitch Haniger, right field in the 6th hole. You already know what it is. Dom. Left fielder in the 7th hole, Dominic Canzone. Going to get a chance to be an everyday player. Number 8, outfield. Bats left, throws right, 5'11", 190. Got to get a little bit more weight on those arms, but we like him. 26 years old, 2023 regular season, 173 at-bats, 23 runs, 38 hits, 6 homers, 28 ribbies with 1 stolen bag, 220 average. We need more. 258 OBP with an OPS of 657. 2024 spring training numbers, 44 at-bats, 6 runs, 13 hits, 4 homers, 11 ribbies, 2 stolen bags with a 295 average. That's my boy. 347 OBP with an OPS over 1,000, 1.052, Dominic Canzone. From Cleveland, Ohio, baby. I see you, Dom. Dominic Toretto, baby. And in the 8th hole, the lowest position that he's had probably in his career, but I think it is a perfect spot for him. That'll help out JP and Julio in the 1 and 2 hole. In the 8th hole, first baseman, Ty France. 2 years ago, an all-star with Julio Rodriguez. Last year, a down year. We need him to get back to business, baby. Let's pull up his numbers. 2023 regular season, 587 at-bats, 79 runs, 147 hits, 12 home runs. Ty France, you're a first baseman. You should have at least 20 home runs. 12, unacceptable. 58 ribbies, unacceptable. 1 stolen bag, unacceptable. 250 average with a 337 OBP with an OPS of 703 from being an all-star the previous year. Let's go, Ty. 2024 spring training numbers, 44 at-bats, 7 runs, 16 hits, no homers, 7 ribbies, no stolen bags. But hey, let's get our average up to 364. That's what I'm talking about, baby. With an OBP of 442, OPS of 897. Now you are starting to see why why we went 1-9-1, and then we ended up finishing like 15-13. We are one of the hottest teams in spring training, and it shows. In the 8-hole, first baseman, Ty France. And in the 9-hole, probably the only person that we have true concerns about in the starting lineup, filling the shoes of Eugenio Suarez, which is going to be very difficult to do, the shittiest player in the starting lineup. And at some point, we may have to replace you with a draft pick, a single A, double A, triple A player, or a free agent in the upcoming years. But at least for now, he'll be starting at third base. Number 4, third baseman, bats left, throws right, 6'1", 207, 29 years old, Josh Rojas. 2023 regular season, 314 at-bats, 47 runs, 77 hits, 4 homers, 40 ribbies, 12 stolen bags with a 245 average, 303 OBP with an OPS of 641, 2024 spring training numbers. The lowest out of anybody in the starting lineup, but he's in the 9-hole, so it's expected. 33 at-bats, 4 runs, 6 hits, 1 homer, 6 ribbies, 2 stolen bags with a 182 average. We need better than that. At very bare minimum, 200 to 250 in the 9-hole, OBP of 333, OPS of 666, and we're not talking the devil, Josh Rojas. Baby. And last but not least, starting pitcher for the Mariners tomorrow, Luis Castillo. I still feel George Kirby is our number 1, but we got to give respect where respect needs to be given with Castillo, and I hope he doesn't fuck it up. 31 years old, you're 6'2", 200. You know, when you first came in Julio's rookie year, you were great. Last year was a little bit of an off year, you know, based off your numbers. You should have been better, but it wasn't all his fault. There was a lot of games that we lost, 1-0 games, 1-run games, extra inning games. And if we can get better there and be a little bit more consistent with these money ball numbers, with maybe not Shohei Ohtani or Blake Snell coming to the Mariners, having to rely on guys like Polanco, Garver, Haniger, Canzone, France, and Rojas, these numbers can go up. 2023 regular season numbers, 14 wins, 9 losses, which isn't bad, you know, but it could be better. 3.34 ERA, which isn't bad, but could be better. I mean, he's got a skill set to be under 3 in ERA. Maybe not 2.50, but maybe 2.80 or 2.99, right? 33 games, 197 innings pitched, 219 strikeouts with a whip of 1.10. 2024 spring training numbers, 2 win, 1 loss, 2.95 ERA, 5 games, 18.1 innings pitched, 22 strikeouts with a whip of 0.93. And just from a little perspective, you know, obviously coming in from the Reds in 2017 to 2021, and then playing for 2 teams in 2022, Reds and Mariners, and then the Mariners starter alone, these are his win-loss numbers. So starting off, 3 wins, 7 losses in 2017. 10 wins, 12 losses, 2018. 15 wins, 8 losses in 2019. That was a fantastic year for him. 2020, 4 wins, 6 losses. Bad year for him there. 2021, 8 wins, 16 losses, another bad year. And then an 8-6 record for playing for the Reds and the Mariners, a little bit better. And then his best season yet, besides the year that he had in 2019 where he was 15-8 with a 3.40 ERA, was last year, 14 wins, 9 losses. So that's why I feel George Kirby is better than Luis Castillo. I feel Luis is the 2. But again, if we want to give him that role as being the starter, and this might be the last year that Luis Castillo is the 1, I would assume if George Kirby has a Cy Young year and will be a Cy Young candidate moving forward, it might be George Kirby as the 1 moving forward. And I don't think anyone would necessarily have a problem with that as long as Kirby plays great. And there we go. Projected starting lineup for the Seattle Mariners tomorrow against the Boston Red Sox. Leading off at shortstop, J.P. Crawford. In the 2-hole, center fielder, Julio Rodriguez. Tridents up, baby. Batting third, second baseman, Jorge Polanco. Batting cleanup and DH, Mitch Garver. Batting fifth, big dumper, little dumper, small dumper, mini dumper, catcher, Raley. Batting sixth, right fielder, Mitch Haniger. Batting seventh, playing left field, Dominic Canzone. Batting eighth, first baseman, Ty France. And batting ninth, third baseman, Josh Rojas. And on the mound, our ace, Luis Castillo. Nobody on YouTube is going to be calling games like your boy. NWSF, often imitated, never duplicated, baby. ESPN, Seattle Mariners. My phone is open. Let's go. All right, let me go up to the comments there. And we'll scroll down. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Takes a lot of effort, but you can tell my passion for the Mariners fucking runs deep, you know, and I'm going to make sure that we have an entertaining broadcast, and I'm going to try to be more entertaining than anybody on YouTube, period. You know, I got the knowledge, and I was blessed with a great voice from my mom and my dad. So, you know, we got to put all those pieces together, and then we got some great fans a part of this channel as well. I appreciate y'all. All right, let me keep scrolling down. Yep. And I retweeted that last homer that he had last night. He's locked and loaded. You know, it could be a 40-40 year. You know, hell, it could be a 50-50 year. You know, I know it's aggressive, but, you know, again, at some point, if Julio wants to remove himself from being a top 10 player, top 5 player, and then being a top 3 player, or even being the best in baseball at some point over Acuna, Judge, and Ohtani, you know, he's got all the skills in the bag to do it. It's just about him having discipline at the plate. We know he can steal bags. We know he's a part of the no-fly zone. He can come up with great commercials with Ichiro, right? You know, but it's all about discipline at the plate. And if he can improve that, you know, numbers are going to be through the roof. And again, the only hole in the lineup for me is going to be Josh Rojas at third base. But again, most people's 9 holes are shitty. Let's be honest. He's a damn good player. It was a great signing, a very underrated signing for us, just like the Mitch Garver signing. Yeah, just a Dominican, just like Julio, so you know. You know that. Agreed. You know it. I'm not sure if I would say that's the most important stat, but it is one of the most important stats to be able to look at. I mean, I look at everything, you know, collectively, and I try to keep an open mind. And again, if the Mariners are playing bad, even though they're my team, you know, I'm going to let people know, you know, that we're not playing good and this guy's not good. But, you know, I'll do that for every single team. You know, it's all about no bias and just calling it how you see it. But I would say it is definitely one of the most important stats. And me and Reflect will even go deeper, and you'll see Elliott and a few others go deep too, like chase rate and things like that. And that's what you want to be able to look at, because ultimately we want to replace the strikeout kings that we had: Teoscar Hernandez, Eugenio Suarez, Jared Kalanick. Bye-bye. And we want to make sure we improve that. We can't have guys striking out 200 fucking times in a year. So, chase rate. And I can always count on you digging deep for stats, not only me. Top 2%. Part of it also, too, is playing with an amazing supporting cast with the Rangers. But I think he will, you know, bring over a lot of that championship mentality. And I'm really happy that we actually have someone from the championship Texas Rangers. You know, it might have not been, you know, everyone's top signing when we got him with Polanco, because everyone wanted Blake Snell and Shohei Ohtani. But I'm telling you, Polanco and Garver are going to be very good for us. And, you know, I'm really blessed that we got both of those guys when we did. Yeah, yes, sir. $43. Let's get to a hundo. Reflect with a 3-er. Appreciate you. We're at 46. How'd you like my breakdown, Reflect? You like that? Stacks on stacks, and I don't even need to come at you like Kirk Cousins. You like that? Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, a little cactus jack, bang, bang. But, you know, there's going to be a lot of people that cover the Mariners, but they're not going to cover it like me. You know, you'll have Rooftop, you'll have Jay Trident, you know, you'll have these other guys, you know, and girls out there that are going to be covering the Mariners, but they won't cover it the same way that we cover it here. Big facts. Mitchie is on a mission. Plus, when you have Mitch Haniger and, right, Mitch Garver, and they got a sandwich, you know, named after them, all kinds of new food available, you know, obviously at T-Mobile Park. Big dumper, medium dumper, little dumper, mini dumper. Can't wait to see it. Little Dumpy. You know it. He definitely lost a little bit of weight, but it won't, I don't think it's going to affect him. Maybe it'll help him be able to throw guys out at second base now. First base, second base, third base, get a little bit less on the dump and a little bit more strength in the arm. That's maybe what we need. Oh, he's going to yum, 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 yum. He's going to eat. He's going to eat. France lost weight also. Yep. I've been watching his progression in the offseason as well. And he was overweight and fat. Let's be honest. To say that he wasn't, it would be a lie. He was not in good shape last year. And we need him to be skinnier and in better shape. A lot of guys start to realize that. Like I saw a video of Najee Harris on my timeline. He was overweight and fat, and he lost a lot of weight. Off his, he's had a little bit of lingering injuries here and there, and sometimes, you got to lose the weight. Hell, your boy was fat and overweight. I was 270, 270, 275. Now I'm 190, since COVID. So, if you want to make a change, you can. You just have to put in the effort. Big facts. Big dumpy, little dumper. Are they? Yeah, I bet. But, going from Minnesota to Seattle, like I said, a lot of us are, with management, we're never going to be able to spend the money. But again, the way that they did it this year, by not really spending a whole lot of money, but if we get better production and we end up winning, 90, 95, 100, 105, then the money ball strategy is going to work. And all the other Mariner fans that are haters can shut the fuck up because we're actually winning games, possibly winning the division over the Astros and the Rangers, and maybe getting to the ALDS, ALCS, as well as the World Series. We just have to be able to put our heads down and work together and have some continuity and chemistry. But, if we end up getting injured and we're not good in one-run games and we're not good in extra inning games, then all those fucking haters are going to keep talking shit over and over and over. And even if you're not a hater, it could be someone like me and Reflect. We're like, damn, we want to be able to spend some money to bring in the pieces. But based on what we did, right, even though we didn't spend the money, I feel that me and Reflect are kind of on board, based on what we've seen. It might have not been the splash that everyone wanted, but it doesn't mean that we're going to be a bad team. With this roster and our pitching staff, even with the injury to Brian Wu, Emerson Hancock comes in at the 5-hole, we can win the American League. I think a lot of people are still going to pick the Astros and the Rangers, but if you're not picking the Astros or the Rangers or the Yankees, most people are picking the Orioles or the Mariners. And why would they be picking the Orioles or the Mariners? Because we're going to be fucking good as long as we don't have, those injuries. And if we can hit above 220, 230 as a team, right, that's going to give us an additional 10 to 15 wins. If we're good in one-run games, that's an additional 5 to 10 wins. If we're good in extra inning games, that's an additional 5 to 10 wins. Okay? So you have to keep that in consideration. It's not like we were terrible last year. We just missed the playoffs, and we made it in 2022. So this might be the first year of maybe a 5-year run where we make it every single year. But until that happens, we have to watch the games and we have to see how everything plays out. And again, if we end up making the playoffs and the further that we go, the less complaining that you're going to hear from the Mariner fan base. Oh, 54%. No one ever tries. No one wants to spend money. I get it, but it is what it is. And this is what what our hand is dealt with, so you're either on board or you're a fucking hater, And so I know I'm on board, Reflect's on board, and we're ready to go. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Reflect is going above and beyond, like everything clicks and we have no major injuries and the pitching staff ends up being, number 1, number 2, then something like 105, 110 wins could be possible. I feel with me, I'm going to be a little bit more modest, but I think that we will be better. We're not going to be 80 to 89 wins. I'm going to go 90 to 95. So that way there will be a little bit of a cushion for us. You know what I mean? But it is possible that we could win, the division. We could end up making the ALDS, ALCS, or the World Series. And if I didn't think we were World Series contenders this year, I wouldn't say it. But I think that with us and the Orioles, we're the 2 young and up-and-coming teams in the American League, and the Arizona Diamondbacks are the young and up-and-coming team in the National League.
even though they already made it to the World Series last year. But you can tell they may not make it again this year, but they're going to be in the mix, as long as Corbin Carroll is there and they keep improving that pitching staff. Phillies, Dodgers, Braves, they're always going to be at the top, but maybe now Diamondbacks have to be included in that category as well. Big facts. Let's go. And also the bullpen is going to be, and our mid relievers. I think that's really the key. We always talk about the starters, that we have, right? So as far as projected starters, here, let me bring this up. So Luis Castillo, George Kirby, right? Logan Gilbert, Bryce Miller, and then Emerson Hancock. That's more than likely the rotation that it's going to go. And then when Brian Wu comes back, he can be in the 5-hole. But the real big thing that a lot of people haven't been talking enough about is the mid relievers that come in the 6th, 7th, and 8th inning, and our closers. If we can improve, in those positions as well, that's an additional 5 to 10 wins. Because there were some games where we weren't very good there. So we need to be able to have a little bit more consistency. Out of guys like Brash. We need to be able to have that consistency, because consistency is going to be king. Andres Munoz, Gabe Spire, Ryan Stanek, Santos, Brash, Both, Salcedo, Thornton, Miller, Vargas, Bolton. We got guys. Raley, Urias, Moore, Davis, Zavala, Marlowe, Haggerty, Trammell, Bliss, Taylor, and then obviously at some point Harry Ford. So, Harry Ford is probably going to be the guy that most people are going to say. I don't know if that would be everyone's most anticipated minor league player coming up, but again, I haven't heard of any other minor league player that is going to take someone's job when they get up, which would probably be Cal. And even if Cal is one of the top 10 catchers, the most powerful hitter as a catcher, in Major League Baseball, or one of the, a guy that could hit 30 or 40 homers. And if we were even considering replacing him, because we need to have someone that's a little bit better on offense and defense, not just a guy that can play DH and not a guy that's going to strike out a lot, even though I have mad love for Cal Raleigh. Hell, I got a Cal Raleigh autographed rookie card. That I ended up buying after he got us to the playoffs. So, Cal is still my dude, but Harry Ford will end up being our starting catcher in 1 or 2 years. Big facts. That's what I want. And I think the fans would love it. Besides Astro fans and Ranger fans, they would hate it, but M's and O's would be fucking fire, and then if you ended up getting a combination of Dodgers, Braves, Phillies, one of those teams, and the Diamondbacks, or, if you do get Braves, Dodgers, but it just seems like with the National League, there's a lot of choking, right? So it's like you can have 115 wins with the Braves, 115 wins with the Dodgers, but who's been coming out on top? The Phillies or the Diamondbacks. So you don't have to be number 1 or number 2. You can be number 3, number 4, in the National League and still make it. And the same thing goes in the American League. If the Orioles and the Mariners are 3rd and 4th, and then the Rangers and Astros are 1 and 2, who cares? As long as you get there. So Mariners, Phillies would be a dream come true too, honestly. I think Mariners, Diamondbacks would be fun. Mariners, Phillies would be fun. If it ended up being Mariners, Braves, or Mariners, Dodgers, and we lost, so be it. You know what I mean? But it's all about just progressively getting better. And, we got a superstar in Julio Rodriguez, which is nice, right? But now it's just building around him. And also the fact that we got Kirby, we got Miller, the pitching staff, the way that we're building it. And it just seems like, me and Reflect had visions of us being this good a couple years ago, but now it's starting to feel like it's coming into fruition. And as long as we can, stay afloat, not having Seawald in any type of closer. It's like anytime we end up getting a good closer, we end up shipping him off, to the Mets or to the Diamondbacks. And hopefully Munoz can be like Seawald, when Seawald is rolling. But again, we saw what happened to Seawald in the World Series. He was good for us, but then he ended up going over there and he got fucking rocked. So as good as Seawald is, he's going to have bad games as well. So we just have to make sure that Munoz can be the good side of Seawald moving forward. Yeah, Emerson Hancock, Georgia first rounder. Yes. It's amazing, dude. Dude, I've been a fan since the mid 80s, like 85. I mean, started watching, around 87, 88, Matt Griffey in 89, like out of all my fandom, as far as like teams, definitely, Oregon Ducks, me living here, and the Seattle Mariners, are at the top. Those are at the very, very top, and then Buccaneers below that, and then Kraken below that. Obviously, my love for NASCAR and my love for WWE and AEW is at the top as well. But I would probably say my Ducks, Mariners, Buccaneers, is all at the top. It's all going to be up there, and the Bucks are the only team, not in the Pacific Northwest that I root for. But if the Seahawks and the Niners would have had great defensive players when I was a kid, then maybe I would have been a Seahawk or a Niner fan. But again, the Seahawks didn't have any defensive players. The Niners, I didn't want to be a bandwagon fan, and I had a feeling that they weren't going to win a Super Bowl for a long, long time. I was right. And then I waited one more year. Warren Sapp, Derek Brooks, that was my personality. John Lynch, my personality. Mike Allstott, my personality. And then the rest is history. So there you go. And I'm a defensive-minded guy. So Warren Sapp, Simeon Rice, Derek Brooks, John Lynch, Rondé Barber, and then if I have to choose someone on the offense, Mike Allstott, and then obviously now Mike Evans. I don't know what it is with Mikes, but I love them. But my Mariner fandom runs the deepest, besides probably the Ducks, because I've been following those two the longest. Mariners and Ducks, mid-80s, Blazers, around the mid-80s, and then obviously Buccaneers was 95. So at that point, I was 13 years old, and I didn't want to, one of my best friends back in the day, Jake Rosenberg, was a Niner fan, and he had all the starting lineups, and he had better baseball cards and football cards and basketball cards. He was kind of my inspiration of being a fanatic, and he was my inspiration to be a collector, but I didn't want to hop on those coattails in that bandwagon, and they already won 4 Super Bowls with Joe Montana, and in 94 when I was 12 and they won it with Steve Young and got the monkey off the back, and then Dion left, I kind of felt that was it. I knew that the Niners would make the Super Bowl in the future, but if you don't have a Steve Young or Joe Montana, you're not winning, and they haven't won a Super Bowl since. So, I think I made the right decision. Otherwise, I guess I would be a Niner fan and be miserable. But if the Niners would have played the Ravens this year, I think they would have won the Super Bowl. So the bottom line is, if the Niners have Brock Purdy and it's not Steve Young and Joe Montana, you better pray that you don't play the Kansas City Chiefs. Otherwise, you're never going to win the Super Bowl. But if you play anybody else, you have a very good chance of winning the Super Bowl. So there's my breakdown. Mariners, Ducks, Blazers, Bucks, and then obviously mad love for AEW, WWE, WCW, and ECW. EC Dub. Yeah, Allstott. That's my guy. Halfback, fullback. You're never going to see one of those ever again. Yeah. And again, I'm not a Tom Brady, Gronk bandwagon. I never bought a jersey. I never, bought those type of things. Was I happy that they came with Bruce Arians and fly like a butterfly, sting like AB, even though AB's got CTE now and he's crazy. But if I didn't have AB, Antonio Brown, fly like a butterfly, sting like AB, right? If I didn't have Bruce Arians, and if I didn't have Gronk, and if I didn't have Tom Brady, but most importantly, if we didn't draft Tristan Wirfs and Antoine Winfield Jr., no Super Bowl. We wouldn't even have gotten to the NFC Championship game and been as good. So I recognize how important offensive line is. It's the most important position in football if you really want to make things move. And yeah, I mean, I've been blessed. 2 Super Bowls, 2 wins. Played the Raiders in 2002, then played the Chiefs and held Patrick Mahomes to 0 touchdown passes. It's pretty good being a Buccaneer fan, and I have to represent in the Northwest on that route. Only us and the Ravens are 2-0. But I feel when the Ravens do go to the Super Bowl, if they ever get there, I'm not sure if they're going to win the first time that they go. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But I think the Bucs will end up being the only team to have 2 and then have a 0 record. I don't know if the Bucs will ever make it back to the Super Bowl again, but I hope they do. Wow, what a show, huh? Your boy going nonstop fucking for 3 hours, huh? Oh, Lauren sending me some stuff. Mariners, baby. takes a lot of effort and energy to be able to keep your voice up, to have all that passion. It's not easy, you know what I mean? But again, I did phone sales for 20 years. So inflection, tonality, and, doing all the things that you need to do to be able to have a good broadcast. But very, very excited. Oh, man, what a day. I wasn't really thinking of going this particularly long, but here we are. Here we are. Opening day. Brian Bello versus Luis Castillo. And you know what? When I was making the thumb, I actually was, trying to get in with the thumb that I have for tomorrow, which I finished. But I want to show you, but we'll wait till tomorrow. It's pretty sweet. So I hope you guys like it. It's a new look, on the channel. And again, I'm so ready. And again, we had a few games canceled due to rain tomorrow. So I will be watching baseball all day long. You know what I mean? I got more love for baseball than the NHL. And I love college football. I love the NFL. But I love baseball, honestly, just as much. For some people, it's boring. But for someone that met Ken Griffey Jr., Ken Griffey Sr., Sandy Koufax, someone that's gotten 3 baseballs in like 7 games, like I said, baseball has been a big part of my life. And, meeting Sandy Koufax and Ken Griffey Jr., my dad's idol and my idol, my 2 idols are Ken Griffey Jr. and my dad. And to be able to meet Koufax and to meet Griffey, I literally met the best left-handed pitcher ever, besides Steve Carlton or Randy Johnson. And I met the best left-handed hitter ever that didn't do steroids. Sorry, Barry Bonds. So it changed my life for the better. And if I didn't meet Griffey and if I didn't meet Koufax, would I be here today doing Northwest Sports Fanatics? Maybe, but maybe not. It definitely changed my life. And I'm definitely excited about the Mariners, and I plan on doing a lot of content. And I'll do other content for other teams as well. When the Mariners have a day off, maybe we do Dodgers, maybe we do Cardinals for Sarah, maybe Dodgers for my dad in honor of him. Maybe we end up doing Yankees or, other, maybe we do Reds for Jordan. I wouldn't mind doing something like that. And I've done so many games, pitch by pitch and all that. Like I'm comfortable doing it. It's not, it's a very difficult thing to do. It's one of the hardest things to do is to call baseball games, I feel, and to be good at it. But I'm definitely, I feel I'm seasoned. I feel I'm a seasoned vet, and we're going to have a lot of fun this year. He said, Ducks, Broncos, wide receivers, WWE, AEW, pro wrestling. Jordan with another dono. I appreciate you. Where have you been my whole life? Where have you been? I'm so happy that you're a part of the NWSF, man. And again, even when like Rooftop came in, I can't believe you're still streaming. That's really the difference between me and a lot of the others. Most people wouldn't have went into spring training stats. I'm going to give you the HD 4K photos. I'm going to go deeper with the stats and the analytics. And if there's someone that can go even deeper than me, maybe with route running and play calling, that's Matt Payton. If it's going deeper in the stat line, maybe that's Reflect. So we got plenty of people. And if I need extra information, that's Sarah, as my lead mod. So we got a lot of intelligent people. And I'll tell you what, if we ended up doing a Sports Jeopardy against any other channel on YouTube, we'd beat the shit out of them. I'll tell you that. $10 holla. Appreciate you. What do you want to end off with here? We're going to go for another 9 minutes, and then I'm going to end the stream at 3:30. 3 hours and 30 minutes. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks with a little cactus jack. Bang, bang. And you can donate through the Super Chat or through the Cash App. Thank you so much, man. Not very often that we get someone brand new coming in, dropping a 20 and a 10. And I work really, really hard. And, some streams when we end up hitting 0, I don't want to say that I don't want to feel disrespected or unloved, but it hurts. I sold a Jordan rookie card that's worth $30,000 for this stream. The last thing that I want for recording it, and doing YouTube and, doing this channel for 8 years and streaming and grinding on streams and content for 12, the last thing that you want to do is be at a 0 on any given day. No one wants to work for free, especially when they have talent and they're one of the best in the world at what they do, but thank you so much for coming through and showing this kind of love, because I don't feel I deserve to be at 0 on any stream that I do, not any, at the very least, we should be at like 1 to 5, if it ends up being a terrible day, but again, remember, we've had donos as low as 99 cents, but as high as 1,300 for a solo dono. If I was terrible at my job, there's no one in hell that would donate, let alone $1, but 1,300. So thank you so much, man. I appreciate you more than you know. Red's in the building. Jordan, what do you want to see for photos here on the rest of the way out? I'm going to go with a Chris Sabo because I don't know. It reminds me of my childhood. And then let me know what you want as far as other Reds. Unless you want to go AR and the Colts, we can go that route as well. Or if you just want to keep it baseball themed. But I gotta go with a Chris Sabo or like a Rob Dibble. You know, I gotta go with the old man. I gotta find something. Oh my God, it's like my childhood all over again. Just even seeing the photo. And the goggles, my gosh. But you let me know what you want and I got you. I'm a little jealous of all the spinning logos you have. You have 4. Unbelievable. And obviously 2 are kind of standard. Like this is just the normal one. You can skip that. And then you got the old school one. But these 2, woo! That's one of the best ones I've gone through. And I like this one too because it has that color to it. And then you got the logo spinning with the actual mascot in the middle of it. And one's going one direction, looking one direction, and one's going the other. Love it. But you let me know what you want to do for photos, and I got you. I'm a big card collector too. You know, not so much nowadays compared to what I was, but you know, obviously the junk wax era, you know, it was a big thing. And I started, you know, 87, 88, you know, around 5 years old, and lots of good memories going to the Circle K when my dad would get a big gulp and then he would let me get packs of cards. I'll never forget it. Wow. My goodness. Wish more of the photos. Like I said, there's only limited ones of Sabo because he's just kind of a random name and whatnot. But let's see. Most of them aren't going to fit the screen. How about an old school Sports Illustrated from World Series 1990, October 29th, where a Sports Illustrated only costs $2.75. Oh, this is a throwback. This is my childhood right here. Me at 8 years old sitting on the carpet. Wow, look at that. How cool is that? What names you got for me? You got anybody you want more? Johnny Bench? You got anybody else that you want? Pete Rose? Charlie Hustle? Okay, I got you. I got you with some Christian. A lot of effort, but I love doing shows, like this. It's not really a freestyle show because we have a theme and whatnot, but it takes a lot of energy and effort. But, I'd rather do this than like hockey. Hockey is more of like filler, content as we're waiting for baseball to come. Ooh, baby. Gotta get you some HD 4K, Christian. How about some defensive play from Christian as well? That's what we do here. I go above and you go above and beyond for me. I go above and beyond for you. Appreciate it. And you got one of the most exciting baseball players on your team right now that you haven't even talked about, Raley de la Cruz. Being a Reds fan, we got to make sure we put de la Cruz up there. Mr. Excitement. So have you been a fan of the channel, or did you just find me like today? Or have you been a subscriber and just never went to a live stream before? Some people just watch like the uploads and that's it. And then some will only watch like the live streams, but we'll get some that do both. But I appreciate you. I bring a broadcast different than anybody else. There's no one else that has a look or a sound or a feel like we do here. Awesome player. Kind of came out of nowhere, and then all of a sudden should have made the All-Star game, if we're being honest. As far as like must-see TV, stealing bags, getting home runs, getting on base. There's not a lot of people that have that type of like Julio Rodriguez excitement, and Raley de la Cruz is that kind of guy. He's super fun to watch. I imagine it gave the Reds like a shot in the arm, like something that they needed, some superstar player kind of coming out of nowhere. But if you weren't going to bring him up, I'm always looking out for your best interests. Dope. I'm Raley de la Cruz. I'm really good. Good. And I hope it's not the last. Even if you can't donate, come through, hang out. We're trying to build this brand, and I'm trying to go from 20,100 to 20,200, and then eventually 21,000 and 25,000 and 30 and 40 and 50. It's just a matter of time. Just got to keep grinding. And, again, the more hard work I put in, eventually I will be rewarded, even if it takes a long period of time. And again, I've been recording for 12 years. This is my 8th year on YouTube, and, can't stop, won't stop. I'm going to keep going. Wow. Well, I love you guys and I appreciate you guys very, very much. I'm going to go take my pup on a walk. It was an amazing day. Jordan, nice to meet you, firsthand. Thank you for the 20 and the 10 on the Dono train, as well as Reflect coming through and showing mad love. Super excited about tomorrow to be able to get into the broadcast, going in. I was feeling really, really good, long stream, but, it's worth it. And I feel that we got a lot of accomplished here today, more than most people that did preview shows. And again, this time, tomorrow the game will probably be, almost over, but I will be live at 7 o'clock Pacific tomorrow for the Boston Red Sox about IMLO versus Luis Castillo. And I can't wait. Make sure you guys are taking care of your mental health. It's very, very important. And I had a lot of fun tonight. Like I said, you just want to be able to, have fun doing your dream but then also making sure that, things are, you feel like you're getting rewarded fairly for all the hard work that's coming in. So I appreciate you guys very, very much. And we went over the Mariners, we went over the Yankees, we went over the Cardinals, we went over a little bit of the Reds, and I feel really good about it. So, hey, nice to join the gang, and we love you and we appreciate you. And I got one question for you. Who talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, and I'm out. Gang.